WFAN, WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, an Odyssey sports station. Evan Roberts. Tiki Barber. It's Evan and Tiki on WFAN, The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
How we doing? Welcome in to Evan and Tiki, 4 hours with you until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Very, very busy show. The snub of Bill Belichick. Why does acclaimed baseball writer Joel Sherman hate Sherman and Morash? And the great Connor Hughes will join us a little bit later on to inform us on what the hell the Jets are doing. Well, let me tell you what the Jets are doing, and I can't believe I'm going to utter what I'm about to utter into a microphone, but sometimes you have to see what's going on and realize exactly what's going on. So for those that are not aware, and I'm sure you are by now, the New York Jets and Aaron Glenn, they're firing all their coaches, including Tanner Engstrand, who we knew was going to be demoted.
Yes.
We weren't sure he was going to be removed, and it was probably halfway mutual. They were going to demote him. He said, I'm not getting demoted. I'm leaving. And so the Jets are going to hire an offensive coordinator. Yesterday, Zach Rosenblatt came out and reported, and I'm pretty sure it's true, I think we all know it's true, that they offered this job to Jon Gruden. Dave Portnoy came out and said, top one worst and most insulting job one can be offered. Now, I'm going to jump to 3 conclusions right now, and you know I'm right.
Yeah.
That job wasn't offered to Jon Gruden by Aaron Glenn because Aaron Glenn would never bring someone in with that kind of personality and resume who is a threat to him.
Right.
That job was offered by Woody Johnson. So here's the conclusion I'm jumping to. Next year, when the Jets fire Aaron Glenn, and they will, you people listening, and you know who you are because you've called in for months. Jon Gruden, Jon Gruden, Jon Gruden.
You wanted him for the Giants.
You're going to get what you want.
You're going to get him for the Jets.
Jon Gruden is the next head coach of the New York Jets. And I think it's obvious, and I'm not just saying that. I'm not telling you I want it. It's obvious because Woody Johnson made that phone call.
Right.
And if Woody Johnson is showing you that he is comfortable getting into business with Jon Gruden, even on the level of being a coordinator, that tells you all you need to know. So let's save the drama. Let's save the time. The next head coach of the New York Jets, and I can't believe I'm saying it, because if you told me this 3 days ago, I would have hung up on you.
Right.
The next head coach of the Jets is Jon Gruden. Am I wrong?
Okay, so it's almost February. It's the end of January right now. We are butting up against getting very ready for the draft, free agency, all that. So we're a month and some change away from NFL free agency. If that's the case, and by the way, I don't disagree with you.
What did I say that was wrong? I'd ask anybody out
there.
there.
The conclusion that you're drawing is 100% right.
Yeah.
There's no way Aaron Glenn voluntarily reached out to Jon Gruden and said, hey, will you come be my offensive coordinator? And potentially when I get fired in week 4 or 5 after we start 1-4, whatever the record is, you take over as the head coach. There's no way he did that. If that's the case, and I think you're right, that this was Woody.
Just do it now?
No, exactly.
Just do it now.
Why not do it now? Because think about where the Jets are right now.
Yeah.
And we had this conversation via our text chat last night, and it just really coalesced in my mind. This really is a disaster in the making with the New York Jets right now. I'm talking about 2026 season.
Yeah.
Forget what just happened. The 2026 season feels like it's going to be a disaster. Why? I'm not sure Aaron Glenn knows what he's doing as head coach. Hey, should he have time to grow into it? Sure. But does he have time? Absolutely not. He doesn't know what he's doing. He does not have an offensive coordinator, even though they're speculating that it's going to be Frank Reich, who is kind of out the pasture right now, not really in high demand to be a young, up-and-coming OC. He's just a veteran coach who might help Aaron Glenn be a better head coach. Defensive coordinator. You're going after Wink Martindale?
Yeah.
Who got kicked out of the league and put into college, and I guess he had some success, but not really because Michigan sucked this past year. So, like, what are we talking about when we're talking about the Jets? Also, by the way, they don't have a quarterback, and there's no path to a quarterback.
They also don't have anybody on defense.
They don't have a player on defense that you're scared about. Maybe Will McDonald on a day. Not every day, on a day. Maybe Jermaine Johnson on a day, not every day. So this team is disaster And the reputation of the organization is what it is. And I'm not just talking about from a fan standpoint, from a Jet fan or even a trolling Giant fan. I'm talking about from a league-wide perspective. The Jets are not highly viewed as an organization. So this thing is chaos right now. And it feels like unless you do something drastic, it's going to stay chaos for 2026. So why not just fire him now?
Yeah.
Why not just go bring Jon Gruden in here now? Why not let Jon Gruden try to change the feel around this organization now?
Believe it or not, I don't think it would stun me if it came out later today or tomorrow that Woody Johnson just does that. It actually wouldn't, because the state of this franchise is really, really bad. Now, I appreciate, and we talked about this the last few days, I appreciate that Aaron Glenn realized the mistakes he made of year one and is not doubling down on mistakes by just running back the same coaching staff and saying, don't worry, everything will be fine.
I agree with that.
I think it does take a little bit of chutzpah to say, you know what, I'm going to start over. But it also shows incompetence with your first search. So two things can be true at the same time.
Right.
And my gut feeling on Gruden, and we'll get more information. Connor Hughes, I told you, will join us coming up at 12 noon. But my gut is, based on a lot of what you said yesterday, too, about Aaron, that he's not going to bring anyone in who threatens him. He's not going to bring anyone in. I mentioned Brian Flores a while back. He's not going to bring someone in who could easily just take his job.
Right.
And so when I see Jon Gruden's name, it literally goes right back to the owner saying, hey, let me try to help you out. You know what? I believe in you. Let me try to help you out. I know John's he's done a lot in this league. I'm going to reach out to Jon Gruden. And Jon, and it's up to him if he wants to turn it down. He obviously did, and everyone's joking about it. I would honestly argue to Jon Gruden, are you getting any other job offers? I mean, if you want to get back into the NFL, maybe you have to take a crappy job offer to prove your worth. But whatever, that's up to him. But I think the Jets are in such a sad state right now that it would not surprise me if Woody did reach out to Jon Gruden and he sees how awful these searches are going, or he does what you suggest. Now, I wouldn't do that for this reason. I want to give Aaron Glenn that second year, as bad as this offseason has gotten off to.
Yeah.
And I also think that Jon Gruden, until proven otherwise, is someone nobody's touching. Okay? This report yesterday involving the Jets is, unless I'm wrong, the first report we have had about Jon Gruden being attached to any kind of job in the National Football League.
Only fan bases. Only the fan has said, I want Jon Gruden. Go get Jon Gruden.
That's it.
There is no organization that's saying, I really want Jon Gruden. And he didn't interview for anything.
He didn't interview one, and there were 1 million job openings. I don't believe that's going to change.
There's still 3 job openings.
Right. No, you're right. So I don't believe that's going to change. I think Jon Gruden can either just stay at Barstool, where he's great, and make a career there, and he has every right to, or he's going to have to find a desperate team that's willing to break the rules, because right now no other team is.
Right.
So my point for why I wouldn't do this right now is he'll be there a year from now. I'm going to end up being right about this. The Jets are going to suck.
Yeah, but how long are you going to wait to just turn the corner? Look, I agree with you. Aaron Glenn deserves another year. I don't believe in the whole one and done thing unless it's obvious, like Steve Wilkes in Arizona. But then that was an organizational issue as well, because the organization was a disaster. The general manager was I'm talking about Arizona. Yeah. The general manager was a disaster. They drafted Josh Rosen, for Christ's sakes, and then gave him the Steve Wilkes and said, hey, man, good luck, dude. And so it's similar, but not quite the same, because I don't think the ineptitude has been that long as it has felt like it is with the Jets. So I hear you. Aaron Glenn deserves another year. But right now, we are about to be in February. This staff feels like it's still in disorder.
Oh, it is. It's a complete disorder. They need to fill a lot of pretty important roles.
And so doesn't that scream incompetence in your job?
Yeah. No, it does. I'm not defending Glenn or this current administration. I'm just telling you that on January 28th, I don't think it's wise to pull the U-turn on it and go to Jon Gruden, because I think Jon Gruden's sitting there next January. I've got no reason to believe he's going to become a hot commodity. So I think that Woody Johnson has every right to just sit there and say, you know what, Aaron Glenn, figure this mess out. You created the mess. You hired these people. You got rid of these people. Go figure it out. And when the Jets inevitably suck, and they will, and maybe get the top pick, your job is probably more appealing. I said this to you the other day. The Jets could have a more appealing job next January than they do now. And I am pretty confident that Jon Gruden's still going to be sitting there, that no other team is going to scoop him up. And that's why I believe that a year from now, he's going to be the head coach of this team because he also needs the right desperate organization to say, I don't care about PR.
Right.
I don't care about the emails.
Right.
I don't care about the lawsuit.
Right.
I don't care about that because I'm desperate. Well, the Jets fit the bill because they're the first team to even offer him anything. And I think a year from now, they're offering him the whole kit and caboodle. And I think there's going to be a lot of Jet fans who love it. And I think there's going to be a lot of Jet fans who hate it. And I'll give you my opinion because I haven't offered it yet. I am so desperate and feel so hopeless that despite my concerns around Jon Gruden and how much he hasn't won since his return to coaching and then his exit and the embarrassment and the lawsuit, how could I say no?
You can't.
Because no one else is going to want this freaking job. So I'm not even against it. But I think it's a year from now, and I think what we learned yesterday is that Woody Johnson is already setting the groundwork up. Because if for him to reach out to Jon Gruden now tells you, I'm going to do it again in a year. And I bet you most Jet fans will be on board because guess what? When you're hopeless, you'll take anything.
It's your most realistic path out of hell. And you hit on a couple reasons. You don't want him taking the job now. You don't want me to break the glass at 1 p.m. that he's fired Aaron Glenn.
Why?
Well, a couple reasons. He laid out part of it. The Jets, for better or worse, for worse, drain the life out of people. Robert Saleh was rejuvenated with San Francisco. We could talk about Sam Darnold. You could talk about any of these people that leave the Jet organization, okay? You don't want Jon Gruden in a year that you already know is going to be bad even with Jon Gruden. Now, maybe he wins 5 games because he's that better a head coach. You don't want him beaten down. Also, it's February. Tiki's talked about staff. Jon Gruden, a couple of years out of the league, accumulating a staff, probably behind the 8 ball. You want him not to have a disarray of a staff 1 year in. And last but not least, if this year is going to suck anyway, Evan, again, I tell you, in February, late January, do you want to win 5 games next year or do you want to win 2 with Arch Manning at the top of the draft?
I think you're right.
No, I mean, but it's just the truth.
You're
because
right.
what's the culture you're going to set through with Jon Gruden winning 5 games next year?
By the way, that's the best argument you have.
Yeah. You know what?
Position yourself to be the number 1 pick.
You're bad enough. You don't have to worry about having the tank argument. The tank is already in place. Don't stunt the tank by having Jon Gruden be disheartened and winning 3 extra games next year. Go get the top pick, draft Arch Manning, have Jon Gruden come in all pumped up and rejuvenated with the staff he wants, and that is your lightning rod or your big golden ticket out of this hell.
Oh, I think that the Jets having a horrific season, which they are bound to have, like if we're all being honest with each other,
they have the longest odds right now to win next year's Super Bowl.
As they should. I mean, they are the favorites probably to get the number 1 pick because the likelihood is that they're going to stink. They don't have an OC.
They don't have a quarterback.
DC. They don't have a quarterback. And it doesn't feel like they have a head coach. Who knows what he's doing?
Yeah.
So they have literally nothing but an offensive line that plays every game, which is cool. Like, I appreciate that. But outside of that, we have nothing. But if this season goes as badly as we all expect and Woody Johnson does what we all expect, which is, all right, I'm blowing this whole thing up, you probably have the number 1 pick. You have 2 other first-round picks, and you got a clean slate. And the guy that you're clearly eyeing is still going to be there.
Right.
And for Jon Gruden, he's going to have to make a decision. Do you want to coach again, or do you just want to remain as a star on Barstool? And by the way, he could remain as that star on Barstool.
Because he's good at it.
He's wildly entertaining.
No doubt.
But I think the Jets are going to be the only team that offers him this job. And they've already given you the hint at it by even approaching him about this offensive coordinator job. So I'm upset because things feel hopeless this season. But I clearly see the future now, and I cannot be alone. We need to brace ourselves, Jet fans. And you tell me if you like it. I'm sure some will, some won't. I think we need to brace ourselves that a year from now, Jon Gruden's going to be the next head coach of the New York Jets.
Yeah, the only thing I'd have to warn you on is if he says no, I'm good.
We're dead.
Then what? Seriously, what is the next? I mean, somebody will take the job, obviously,
right?
Because there's some 37, 40-year-old head coordinator or whatever that's never gotten a chance, or I don't know, Frank Reich comes take the job. Who knows? Somebody will take the job.
Somebody will take it, but much like, and I mean this with all due respect to Wink Martindale and Frank Reich, because I think they are really good football guys who have good things on their resumes.
Yes.
But you said it best, and I'll say it in a delicate way. They are not hot commodities right now.
No.
Teams are not banging down the door for Wink Martindale and Frank Reich. So I think they're decent hires. I've said that before. They're singles to center field. but there's a reason they're considering the Jet job.
Yeah.
One, Frank Reich's probably just an awesome dude and owes Aaron Glenn, or doesn't owe him, wants to do Aaron Glenn a favor.
Of course.
But with all due respect to Frank, people aren't banging down his door.
Nope.
Wink Martindale, we know what his deal is.
All right, they were both in college last year.
Yeah.
Both these guys.
Frank obviously is the interim head coach at Stanford,
Yep.
and Wink is the defensive coordinator at Michigan. So I don't think this is a hot job, clearly.
No, it's not a hot job. And look, we're talking about coaches, but just look at the roster. There are some good pieces in this roster. Offensive line, Breece Hall, if they re-sign him. Garrett Wilson, obviously. There's maybe a piece or two on defense, but this doesn't feel like a team, and there's no quarterback. And when you go into a season without not a vision, because that's the wrong description of it, but a foundation for a solid team and no quarterback and then coaching uncertainty, there's no way to be successful.
Right.
You don't just happen upon success in the NFL. It's not like, hey, let's just run the guys out there, throw the ball around. We'll figure this thing out as we go. That might work in basketball if you have elite athletes. It doesn't work in the NFL. You got to have a real plan. And we're now in February almost, and Aaron Glenn can't be crafting a plan.
No.
Because he doesn't have a staff.
No, he has no plan. I mean, honestly, I think here's what Aaron Glenn's plan was. I'm going to get rid of everybody. I want to try to save my job. He knows year 2 is make or break.
Yes.
He doesn't trust the coaches that he
And
has,
by the way,
nor should he.
that's a crappy position to be in.
It's a horrible position to be
Year
in.
2, make or break.
Yeah, but it
That
is.
stinks.
It stinks, but it's the reality. And you know
Yes.
what? Unfortunately, it's his reality.
Right.
He's the one who hired the coaches. He's a part of the decision-making that decided to bring in Justin Fields. And he's the one who coached the team to a pathetic season. So it's on him.
Right.
And he should feel lucky that he is getting a second shot, because most people listening to my voice and your voice wanted this guy gone. He's getting a second year. And I would argue that Aaron Glenn is facing one of the longest of long shots a coach or manager has ever faced in this town. Like, we've had coaches and managers go into seasons on hot seats. I don't remember a coach with longer odds of keeping his job and making this thing work more so than Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
Is it possible he makes it work? It's possible, but I'm telling you, those odds are as low as I ever remember it with a young coach or manager in New York City.
I agree with you. I agree. It's not an enviable position. And I feel worse for the Jet fan, because what are you hopeful for other than it being over and let's try whatever the next thing is?
Here's unfortunately what we're hopeful for, and it sickens me that I'm saying this in January of 2026. We are hopeful that they will be bad enough to get the number 1 overall pick and make them appealing enough for someone to take this job. And as we stand here today, yesterday to me showed me that the guy they're going to target is Jon Gruden. And so for everyone who's called this radio station for weeks and months suggesting Jon Gruden for the Giants or suggesting Jon Gruden for the Jets, I really believe you're getting what you want. For everyone who said Don Mattingly should manage the Yankees, you never got what you wanted. For everyone who said Wally Backman should manage the Mets, you never got what you wanted. We are headed towards people getting what they want. The question is, the Jet fans like it. We'll get to your calls next, 888-808-1019. Connor Hughes will join us coming up at 12 noon. And Tiki will also tell us how this can be salvaged. What can Aaron Glenn do to save what has been an awful start to this offseason? We're coming to you live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
A new year means new goals. Whether you're back in the gym or taking up a new activity like pickleball, our partners at Jag Physical Therapy remind you to ease in, warm up, and build a safe foundation for success. Of course, if you or a loved one have any pain or get injured, turn to John Gallucci Jr. and his expert team at Jag Physical Therapy, who are dedicated to getting you back to the life you love. Jag is the leader in physical and occupational therapy with convenient locations all across New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. To schedule an appointment is very easy. Just go to jagpt.com today. That's JAGPT.com.
This portion of the program was sponsored by Call Sheet. Trade on anything. The big game is here and now. You can trade on football legally nationwide on Call Sheet. Right now, New England is trading at 34% to beat Seattle. A $100 trade pays out $281. Use code FAN to get $20 when you trade $100. KALSHI. Call Sheet. Trade on anything. It was also sponsored by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water.
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? We always bottle our Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source, and all our bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from our own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source.
Every Saturday at 8 a.m., it's Kickoff with Boomer and Mike Valenti, where the guys break down the biggest headlines and storylines from across the NFL.
They both were dealing with the chaos that is created playing on the road in those two particular stadiums.
Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti is brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. And The Fan, always streaming on Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber with a special message for New York businesses looking to diversify your income. Amazon Hub Delivery is making it easy to earn extra money. When you partner with Amazon Hub Delivery, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area. With each package delivered, you'll gain extra income and exposure for your business. There's no upfront cost, no delivery experience, and no long-term contracts required. Sign up to learn more at Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
Nissan trucks and SUVs are built for next-level adventure. Too much gear? Dirt? Rock? Sand? Get in a Nissan truck or SUV and feel unstoppable. Whether you want to take your next level of adventure in the Frontier Dark Armor, the Pathfinder, the Armada, or the Rogue, you'll be ready for what comes your way. Nissan. #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. Get 0% APR on the 2026 Nissan Rogue, 2025 Murano, or Pathfinder for well-qualified buyers. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Example: 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary, subject to INMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 2/2/26.
Hey, it's Tiki. Back when I played, creatine was a locker room secret. Players knew, trainers knew, fans didn't. But now the secret's out. Creatine boosts strength, speeds up recovery, and even helps brain health. That's why I take GAT Sports' new Creatine Chews. 5 grams per serving, no sugar, no shaker, no mess. Save 30% off your first bottle at gatsport.com with code TIKI30. That's GAT sport.com with code TIKI30. GAT Sport Creatine Chews. Fuel up, compete harder.
This isn't just a game, it's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Be there at Barclays Center on February 15th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for your tickets to the 100-year tour.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
What would you say was the biggest factor in getting that win tonight?
I mean, you said it. I think that was it for me. Factor. I was feeling strong. Had plenty in the tank for overtime.
Wait, Factor, like the meals?
Yeah, Factor meals. I've been getting Factor high protein meals delivered all month. I get all the power I need. They taste great, and they're ready to eat in 2 minutes.
Okay, I need to get on that.
For real. Go to factormeals.com. It's the easiest way to eat like a pro.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store, and they'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into a paper airplane headed to see you never. AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, their best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So just bring your bill to your local Verizon store, and they'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on Root Metrics Root Score Report 1/8/2025. Results may vary. Must provide a postpaid customer mobile bill within the past 45 days in the name of the person redeeming the bill. Additional terms apply.
At NYU Langone Health, we know there really is no place like home. That's why we get our surgery patients home faster and have fewer readmissions than any other health system. That means once you're home, you won't need to go back for the same procedure. Instead, you can get back to the things you love. And the next time you need something else, we're here. Better health starts with a better health system. Learn more at nyulangonehealth.org.
Oh, baby, listen to that engine purr.
John Montone, what are you doing in that Jeep from Ramsey?
Todd, it's a new year, and I'm ready to start something new. Like this brand new 2026 Jeep Wrangler 4-door Willys 4x4 with an incredible Ramsey lease of just $369 a month for 39 months.
Two can play at this game. I'm going to start this new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4x4. And just think, you can lease one at Ramsey for only $279 a month for 27 months.
Todd, I'm loving this Start Something New sales event at Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. And now, I'm ready to start my new diet.
Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, home of exceptional people, exceptional deals.
Call 833-853-2969 for details. VIN number SC360766. MSRP $47,495. VIN number DW201758. MSRP $53,500. $29.95 down payment plus tax, title, and registration. Zero security deposit. Expires 2/2/26.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
When this happened, you talked about it on The Fan.
I would like to introduce to you the next head football coach of the New York Giants, John Harbaugh.
This is pretty amazing right here. This is incredible. And to see those players back there, see those guys smiling and ready to go to work, that gets me fired up too. So to everybody, just thank you very much. Thanks for being here. It's a profound honor.
When New York sports happens, talk about it here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Some thoughts on the Knicks last night coming up in a few minutes, plus the Bill Belichick snub. But I mentioned before that Jon Gruden is going to be the head coach of this team next year based on yesterday and the fact that the Jets even reached out to him about an offensive coordinator job. And things do feel hopeless for Jet fans. They need an entire new coaching staff under Aaron Glenn.
Yes.
They don't have players. And so, yes, going into this offseason and then subsequently the season, it feels as hopeless as we've ever felt as Jet fans.
Mm-hmm.
But I asked Tiki Barber as the rational one, can you at least present to us a path forward in which this can still be a success for the Jets in the short term?
Yeah, it can. And this will be hard, but this is how I can see it happening. You need to go get an offensive coordinator who is well thought of, but on hard times.
Is that Frank Reich, even though he's not on hard times?
I'm not talking about Frank Reich. I'm talking about a kid like Bobby Slowick.
Okay.
Remember Bobby Slowick? Because when his first year in Houston, I was lauding him because how good C.J. Stroud was playing in his first season. He was a quarterback coach in San Francisco.
Now, he just got hired as the OC in Miami, so he's
really?
not available.
So
yeah.
Someone
Jeff Hafley got him.
Someone like that.
Okay.
So not him, but someone like that who is maybe either not ready, but is at least competent as a play caller.
Oh, I have an idea. Tanner Engstrand.
No, definitely not. But you need someone like that.
Yeah.
Right? You need the Bobby Slowick type, not someone who is hot and rising like a Joe Brady before he got hired, but someone who's right there but has the mind to be competent at his job.
All right.
Right? And then the cap situation is very convoluted with the Jets. The cap is going up to $305 million this coming up season. And I don't want to bog you down in the numbers, but the reality is the Jets have $80 million in cap space. Now, I know people say, isn't it over 100? Yes, but they got $75 million in dead cap. That's Aaron Rodgers, that's Quinnen Williams, that's C.J. Mosley. That's like all of these players that are no longer on the team, Sauce Gardner, that are still counting against the cap. And then you have Justin Fields.
And that will eventually be some kind of dead cap.
So you have $80 million. It's going to end up being probably close to $90 million in dead cap, but you still have $70-something million in cap space for this year. And because the cap is not just 1 year. You're not putting all of whoever you go acquire's salary on 1 year. You're spreading it out. They have a lot of room to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing they need to do is get that coordinator. The second thing they need to do is go get Teddy Bridgewater.
I like Teddy.
Who's a free agent.
Yeah.
And the third thing is go get Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Malik Willis is it's not going to be expensive, but it's not going to be cheap either.
Yeah.
So he's listed at around, I don't know, $2 or $3 million. Offer him $8.
Oh, I think he's going to get more than that.
You probably whatever it is.
I think
offer him what you need to offer
Yeah.
him, and give yourself a hopeful future in your quarterback, because you have the offense, right? Then you draft a wide receiver.
Right.
You got a good offensive line. You got a pretty decent tight end room. You keep Breece Hall, or you don't. Whatever. It's a running back, and then all of a sudden, at least your offense feels like it's exciting, can score points, and we're not going to get blown out of the water by not being able to score.
Yeah, Malik Willis is like a better version of the Justin Fields lottery ticket. And the reason I say better version is Justin Fields had already failed.
Yeah.
And so when they brought him in as the lottery ticket, it was a guy who had already failed. And
Yes.
you're like, maybe he could put it together the way Sam did. Malik Willis hasn't failed.
No.
Malik Willis hasn't fully gotten an opportunity yet. And so it's different.
That's the only issue with the Jets bringing Malik Willis. I get what Tiki's saying. I think Malik Willis is going to benefit from this draft. I think he's getting paid.
Yeah, I think he's getting paid too. I agree.
I think he's getting a Sam Darnold type 3-year deal here. And you got to make that call on whether you think that's going to be the guy or whether you're better off, Kyler Murraying it for 1 year.
And they can do that because of the cap space that they have. But I happen to agree with you that he's going to be the hot free agent this year.
Yeah.
With the idea of he isn't a failed quarterback. He's a quarterback that hasn't been given the full opportunity.
Right.
And when we've seen him in glimpses, he's looked good. And I admit, as a Jet fan, that would give me the most excitement for this upcoming season.
And remember, copycat league. Sam Darnold went to a Super Bowl. Teams are going to try to replicate the Sam Darnold thing, and Malik Willis will be the top of that list.
Let's get to your phone calls, 888-808-1019. This is a happy day for all the Jon Gruden supporters because I firmly believe the wishes that many had over the last few months of the Giants hiring him and the Jets hiring him, which I always thought was a fantasy, I think it's real now. Because if Woody Johnson is reaching out to Jon Gruden about joining Aaron Glenn's staff, and that's exactly what I think happened, that shows you that a year from now, if the Jets fail, like we all expect, he'll be the first call that he makes. 888-808-1019. Ryan is in Cranford, New Jersey. Good morning, Ryan.
What's up, Brian?
Good morning, boys. Listen, first of all, Jets fan, I already know it's all dysfunction. Interesting you talk about Malik Willis. I thought maybe we just Kyler it for a year and then figure it out, but I'm going to leave that on the side. I want to know what makes either of you, but especially you, Evan, think that Jon Gruden's even hireable, because this guy has proven himself to be a scumbag. And I understand.
Because they just offered him, but hold on, Rob, I'll let you continue, because you asked a question. Okay. Because they just offered him a job. So doesn't that prove he's hireable?
Well, but what I was thinking they were going to do was let him take that road to redemption, right? Like give him that little bit and then take the road, prove you can be here. Give him a head coach immediately? This guy needs to prove it. And I don't care. He's been doing YouTube videos and Barstool Sport. I don't care, bro. You already proved who you were. So I understand we're all about second chances and you did bad, but now you could do good, which I don't necessarily believe in.
Yeah.
But I don't want this guy as my head coach right now.
Yeah, Ryan, the problem is it perceptually you're 100% right. But people who know him, including my brother, they love him. Right? I know what the perception is of Jon Gruden, but those that are close to him, they don't see that. You know what I mean? And so it's probably somewhere in the middle of who he actually is.
What I don't understand, though, from Ryan, first of all, Ryan as a Jet fan has every right to say, guy's a scumbag, I don't want him.
Yeah.
Totally. And drop it right there, fine, I can't argue with you. Where I argue with you is why you think a road to redemption of a year as an offensive coordinator proves anything. Like, it's not going to change how you feel about the emails to our last caller.
Right.
And it's not going to prove anything. We already know what Jon Gruden is
right.
in terms of a coach. So I don't understand why the year of being an OC is necessary if you're willing to hire him. Woody Johnson's willing to hire him because they reached out to him about joining the staff, which is hiring him.
Right.
So am I wrong to think if you're willing to hire him on that role, why wouldn't you be willing a year from now when you're more desperate to hire him in a bigger role?
Right. Right. It's interesting because we judge people based on what they do in private. even though we're not supposed to know what people do in private. But we know because Jon Gruden's emails got leaked. But he never was that way publicly. I mean, my brother played for him for 7 years or 6 years, whatever it was. He was never that way.
Right.
It was just on television when he left the game for a decade. He was never perceived that way as the scumbag. He was actually the great, entertaining, loquacious, like awesome dude. And then all of a sudden we see something in private and it becomes, oh, he's a scumbag. What would happen if we found out about every person you know? You'd probably say a lot of your good friends are scumbags. I'm being honest with you.
No, I get you.
And so it's just, I hear what he's saying, and he's not wrong, but I also think that there's some nuance in how you evaluate people.
John is in the car. What's going on, John?
Hey, guys. How are you today? Thanks for taking my call.
Pleasure,
By the way, Tiki, appreciated you and your brother when you played. I wish you had played for the Jets, but that's like saying something mean and cruel. The only thing that you guys are missing is this: that Manning kid's never going to play for the Jets because the Mannings are royalty. And if you think they're going to allow that kid to ruin his career and Woody's continuing sinking ship, think again. It's not going to happen, Evan.
John,
don't even go there.
John, you're bringing up something very interesting, and it's there. Like, we know it, we feel it, but these young kids don't want to come to the Jets. Quarterbacks.
Well, I'll tell you something.
Dante Moore simply did not want to be a Jet. And Dante Moore, fantastic, good kid, played well at Oregon. They got knocked out or whatever it is. But he's a good player. He didn't want to come here. It is going to be a different level of media and digging into why the Jets aren't desirable when Arch Manning does it.
Yeah, and Tiki's right. Like, this is no longer hearsay.
Yeah.
I now know Dante Moore's agent did not want to come here. Now, is that the reason why he went back to school? Maybe, maybe not. It could still be it's better to groom yourself in college. He's getting a great NIL deal. And you know what? Whatever. We'll do it next year.
Right.
He's not ready. So I'm sure that played a little bit of a part of it. But I have heard that it's true. Like, the rumors are just true as much as I may not want to admit it.
By the way, you hear it from random people.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I know.
You just random people will tell you how that organization is a disaster.
Yeah.
You're like, huh?
It sucks. And is it a potential issue next year? It is. But what you have to hear me out on is who is the coach next year?
Right.
And does that change things? Now, you talk about your brother and the respect he has for Jon Gruden. I don't know what the Manning family thinks about Jon Gruden.
No.
They may also have
Right.
a respect of, hey, that guy knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I trust him with my kid or my grandson or my nephew, whoever's giving their opinion. That's the part of the Jets that could be very different next year. And that's the part of the Jets that I expect to be very different. Because, and you could save this audio, the Jets are not finishing with the worst record in the league, getting the number 1 pick, and retaining Aaron Glenn. That's not happening.
No.
So
Agreed.
if they get the number 1 pick,
It's a different coach.
it's a different coach. And despite the concerns one may have about Woody, rightfully so, I think the job's going to be more appealing because it is the number 1 pick.
But it also depends on who you hire. Like who you hire as that coach is going to depend on it's going to determine what the kids say.
You know who I'd hire? Screw it. I'm so mad at this guy that I would tell this guy, you know what? You've screwed my organization so much, you take the job. Peyton Manning. I just hire him.
Has enough connections.
Hey, Peyton, we'll give you $100 million deal.
Yeah, run the Jets.
On one condition.
Jon Gruden did it.
No Adam Gase.
Yes.
Imagine he brings him in as his offensive coordinator.
Oh, no.
I swear he did that on purpose.
He tried to screw with us?
Yeah. Because there's no way he looked at Adam Gase and said, this guy is the future of football.
Yeah.
There's no, because Peyton Manning is a smart football guy. There's no way he looked at him and said, this guy's going to be great.
It was either he tried to screw the Jets, like you're saying, or he's just a nice guy, and that's his boy, and that's his friend. And he's putting his friend over. He made a mean cup of coffee for Peyton back in the day, and he's like, you know what, coffee boy, I'm going to get you a job. Get you another job after you failed in Miami.
Peyton Manning doesn't drink coffee.
Well, that was my joke with Beningo for years, that Adam Gase was Peyton Manning's coffee boy. He was his errand boy.
I have no idea whether he drinks coffee or not. Why'd you respond?
I don't know, because it annoyed me that you blew up the bubble that I used for 2 years when Gase was here.
I'm sure he does drink coffee.
Of course he does. Me and like a few others are the only ones who don't drink coffee. I am not a coffee drinker, as crazy as it is. Sal's in Brooklyn. Hey, Sal.
What's going on, boys? Hey, let's not forget. Peyton already turned the Jets down when he went back to school. There's no way a Manning comes on this team, man. It just ain't happening. And it just goes to show you how sad this organization is. If you're already throwing out Jon Gruden, get rid of Glenn, man. There's no sense in putting this guy's head on the guillotine knowing he's going anyway.
Well,
so it just goes to show you how they're going to... Hang on, please. I'm sorry. I know I'm excited.
No, keep going. Keep
die
going.
in a million years. Just goes to show you how we know we're going to lose. We're going to keep this guy around. And with Jon Gruden, there were players who loved him. Your brother, Tiki. Warren Sapp will go to war with this guy tomorrow. Just because Keyshawn Johnson didn't like him doesn't mean he's a scumbag. You bring in a guy who knows how to deal with men. Start now. You're not going to be a garbage team. And go draft that linebacker from Ohio State. You see what Will Anderson did with Texas? That's how you start, man. Defense wins in this league. Start right there, and then you'll see how this team can start moving forward. But it starts with accountability from ownership that's not going to stick their nose in there and try to tell his team how to run men. Because it ain't happening as long as that guy's doing what he's doing.
Sal, so your point is well heard. But the other thing, and this is probably why Woody would reach out to Jon Gruden, is because think of the last few coaches that the Jets have hired. We did this with the Giants. How the cycles over the last 4 years, it's kind of just, let's just reach and try to grab that kid, maybe that coordinator, that guy, he might pan out. Let's give him his shot. That's what the Jets have done. You know what I mean? With Robert Saleh, with Aaron Glenn, Adam Gase was a failed Miami Dolphin, just got him right away. Like, none of it, when you think about it, made sense for an organization that's trying to find itself. What you needed to do was hire the Sean Payton type, like the guy who's going to fix the organization from a head coach up and down, right? So up to the front office, down to the team. And Jon Gruden could be one of those guys. It's what he was hired in Las Vegas to do.
And he never got to finish the job.
Right.
That's the thing about Jon Gruden's time in Oakland/Las Vegas is that he inherited a team and they went 4-12. Then they went 7-9. Then they went 8-8.
Yeah.
And then they were 3-2 before the bleep hit the fan and he was forced to resign. So we don't know where that was going, but it certainly felt like it was trending in a direction of the Raiders being competent.
But they also knew that it was going to take time. Because they were a disaster as well. And that's why he got a 10-year, $100 million contract or whatever. Not even. Was it 10 years?
Yeah, he got a monster contract. I think it was like a really long deal that he got with the Raiders.
Whatever it was. But they knew that it was going to take some time. And it was trending towards the right direction until things fell apart for him. So, but even if it's not Gruden, you have to hire somebody like that. Somebody who can work both sides of the equation. Both from the ownership perspective, stay out of my way. Don't meddle in here. Don't try to fire my assistants or whatever. Just let me handle this. I know what I'm doing, and I'm also going to coach this team to be competent, accountable, and love football.
I'd be very curious if Barstool and John, I know Dave Portnoy has addressed it in his patriot-loving way by mocking us, which he has every right to do. I'm very curious if Jon Gruden's going to address this report. Because there's a few ways he can go about this. He can be respectful and say, I love what I'm doing here. I'm good. Or he can say, I'm a head coach. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Woody. That was very nice of you. But I'm a head coach. And if you're going to call me for a job, call me for that. And if you don't call me for that, then don't call me.
Right.
Because I'm good here at Barstool. I don't know if Jon Gruden's going to address it, but my assumption is.
Why would he not? I mean, he should.
That'll get a lot of views for that.
Of course it would.
I'll be watching.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah. But I kind of believe that at 63 years old, his attitude probably is, if someone offers me the right head coaching job with the right amount of money and the right power, I'll take it. And if not, I got a good career going.
Yep.
And I don't think any other team's going to offer it to him because enough time has gone by where no one has made an offer, at least that we're aware of. He hasn't gone on job interviews. We're coming off a coaching cycle in which there are 10 vacancies. And you tell me the Buffalo Bills shouldn't have interviewed him, right? Trying to get to the next level? And they didn't. Nobody did.
Right.
So I am still under the assumption that Gruden is, I guess, not trusted enough to where the Jets are going to be the only team that reaches out, which is why I think a year from now, if this season fails the way I expect, they will reach out. Because, and tell me if I'm wrong, and we'll ask Connor Hughes at noon. Do you think Aaron Glenn was the one who said, let me reach out to Jon Gruden?
No, there's no way. I can't. How would he have that relation? I mean, maybe he just knows him over the years, I guess. But he never played for him.
But it's also the threat you talked about yesterday. Was he ever going to bring someone in who's a threat?
No,
Jon Gruden's the biggest threat.
That's why Frank Reich is the perfect offensive coordinator hire. Not that he's going to be a great offensive coordinator, because I have no idea what kind of offense he would run, nor do I know who the quarterback is. But Frank Reich is non-threatening to Aaron Glenn mid-season. We're going to fire a head coach and potentially hire the replacement in real time. That's not Frank Reich for you. So it's almost safer for Aaron Glenn. But Aaron Glenn, he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Again, we're in February. He has no idea who his quarterback, offensive coordinator, or defensive coordinator are. Now, there's ideas, but is it the right one? We're talking about guys who are out of the NFL, who are not in high demand, could be on the back end of their careers. Is it exciting for you? The answer is probably no.
No, it's the most helpless feeling I think we've ever had as Jet fans, despite cap space and draft picks.
Yes.
Leonard is in Rockland County. Good morning, Leonard.
Hey, good morning, Evan. How are you?
What's up, man?
What's up?
Yeah, so just quick. My kid came home the other day, and he's like, Daddy, I want to be a Giant fan. I don't know what to tell him. Like, the hope. Usually I could sell him out on hope, because every organization, even the Browns, can make the playoffs. The Lions, they're 0-16 one year, and look at them now. You look at even the Brooklyn Nets, your team, right? They could somehow do something, but with the future with the Jets, it's so hopeless. Am I obligated to turn him into a Jet fan, or can he be a Giant fan?
Just tell him I'm going to have this guy. Let's call him Uncle Tiki. He's going to come over, bring some gear, couple picture books, read you some stories about the history, the greatest New York organization. Talk about all the championships, even the ones we missed out on, like 2000, where I got my butt kicked, but. You know what? It's all good. We were there. The Jets haven't been there.
Oh, God. Yeah, don't invite Uncle Tiki over. Here's what I would do. And I'm lucky in that my kids are fully aware that the Jets suck, but they have not asked me that. They haven't told me that. I have not had any of my kids. In fact, yesterday, one of the perks of these new hours is I get to do more things with my kids. So there was an event, like a party for kindergartners.
Oh, really?
So I took Spence.
Oh, very cool.
One thing I could not understand is they did face painting. It's 7 o'clock at night, right? Spence wants to get face painted. He wants to be a dog, all right? I'm saying to him, son, as soon as we get home, we have to wash it off and take a shower. Is this really worth it? And he's like, yeah, give me dollars.
It's worth the picture.
I mean, we took a great picture, but it felt to me like the biggest waste. But as we were waiting online, there was a dad there wearing a Jet beanie, and the kid in front turns to him and says, the Jets stink. Go Seahawks.
Wow.
Right? So this kid's a front runner.
He's not a Seahawk fan. He has to be a front runner.
No, he's a front runner because I know the kid. I'm not going to call him out by name. He's 5. 2 weeks ago, he was screaming, go Bears at me. So he went from a Bears fan to a Seahawks. Whatever. So you know what Spence did?
Is he putting some dollars on the games?
Maybe. Spence's response?
What?
Jets.
Oh, nice.
And so...
Got a brawl brewing.
Yeah, we do. But what I would say to Leonard is just tell your kid, look, you have every right to be a Giant fan. They have a better future. They have a great history. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But understand that someday this is going to turn. And if you want to share that with Dad, you stay with us. If you want to enjoy that with Uncle Tiki and crazy cousin Sean, fine, go root for the Giants. But just understand we're a Jet family.
Evan, I know we're going to get to the Knicks and Karl Anthony Towns, but first, this Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ Precision Cooking, Effortless Results, ChefIQ.com. The Browns have named their head coach.
It is.
They are going with former Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken, who was the favorite to be the Giants offensive coordinator. So the Giants now go into scramble mode for their OC.
That is very, very interesting because you're right. The reaction I think we all have to this hire is not Todd Monken to Cleveland. It's,
right.
Wow, you guys need an OC, which means you're competing with us for Jon Gruden.
No.
Oh, good. Congrats to Todd Monken. I mean, I didn't think we figured he was going to get a head coaching job. I guess Jim Schwartz will stay on as defensive coordinator. So what do we have left? We have Vegas and Arizona, the 2 remaining jobs?
Correct.
There you go.
That's interesting. Where's Jim Schwartz? Is he staying?
I assume he's staying because
last night was the report. Yeah,
the prerequisite for all of these interviewers was you have to keep Jim Schwartz,
right?
Which was crazy to me. Imagine telling a head coach.
Well, why not just give the job to Jim Schwartz then?
That was the thought certainly in the last 24 hours. But I guess if Todd Monken, who's desperate for the job. No problem with that.
Right.
Says, that's fine. I'll take him. Then you get the best of both worlds. Because you weren't getting Todd Monken as an OC.
Right.
He was going to come here to the Giants. So you get Todd Monken and his offensive brilliance, and you also keep Jim Schwartz, the DC. So it definitely impacts the Giants because we certainly sat here assuming Todd Monken was going to be the offensive coordinator of the Giants. Now he will not. And so that search goes into a different mode.
Yeah, and remember the initial report out of Baltimore when the rift happened between Harbaugh and Biscotti, and I'm forgetting his name, I'm going to call him Biscotti, is that they wanted Monken out, and Harbaugh said, no, he's my OC.
You made my heart jump because the glass breaks, which around here means breaking news, for those that are new to Evan and Tiki. And then he says, I know we'll get to Karl Anthony Towns. And I'm like, did they trade Karl Anthony Towns?
I know. Like, what did that even mean?
No. That was behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
Right. And me and Evan were going to do fan focus on the Knicks and Karl Anthony Towns. This was breaking news. This fit the fan focus.
This fitted even better.
I thought Towns was traded. I was like, and in my brain, I'm working like, where'd he go?
By the way, so now we got to think about, forget Towns, coordinators for the Giants.
Yes, we do.
They requested last night, suddenly, it was
Matt
also good as
Nagy?
coming, to interview Davis Webb.
Yeah. I can see that one.
I could definitely see Davis Webb.
And it felt weird last night when that broke. Like, why are they requesting?
Matt Nagy
Well,
is
hold
available.
on. We got to do this professionally. I want you to write down your top 5 Tiki choices for Giants OC.
Okay.
And we will get to that coming up at 11 o'clock because we need to really cleanse this out. Tiki needs to do more research than 30 seconds in his brain. And then we'll give you the facts and where they could
the Chiefs
potentially
hired
go.
Eric Bieniemy to be their offensive
They
coordinator.
did, yeah.
So Nagy's available.
He is available. He's a real option. You know who else is available? Tanner Engstrand.
Yeah. Nah,
I'm just letting you know.
I'm good on that one.
I will get to that in a couple of minutes, plus more of your calls. But let's find out what did happen in NBA circles and hockey circles last night.
Yes, I got it for you. The Knicks beat the Kings 106-87 last night, but not without controversy. The Knicks felt off through 3 quarters, and Karl Anthony Towns once again found himself riding pine during crunch time. This for the last 6:51 of the game. Mitchell Robinson was used primarily as the big on the floor. Mike Brown discussed Karl Anthony Towns, and this is just what we're going with. And we have sound on what Karl Anthony Towns thought of Mike Brown's decision.
He said that lineup late, he just felt like it was a tight game and those guys were playing well together. From your perspective, like...
He saw what he saw. We got to win. It's the most important thing.
Like, you don't get upset or take it.
We got to win. That's the most important thing. That's all I care about. New York care about. This team care about is the wins.
That's a great answer. I mean, it's a great answer. It's a 4-point game when they made the pull. The Knicks were ahead. And once they made that change with 6:50 to go, they ran away with the game. So we've seen this a lot where they just look better with Cat on the bench. But a credit to Cat. That's a great answer. Would you agree that's a professional answer?
100%. He said the right thing. He didn't make it about himself. It was about the team.
The other thing that Cat did, and this is in relation to the Mets, because we played the clips yesterday of Carlos Mendoza saying the players didn't celebrate each other enough. Cat was celebrating on the bench. Like every time the Knicks made a big play, he wasn't moping the way Cam Thomas does.
Right.
Like he was up there, he was clapping, he was cheering. So all good on that regard. The negative is that Cat was again caught not getting back on defense. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to notice this yourself. Other times, Walt Clyde Frazier is there to call it out for you. Take a listen.
5-on-4 the other way. Where's Towns? He's just getting into the picture.
Wow.
Like, I think we notice it anyway, but sometimes
I love Clyde.
Oh, he don't give an F,
He
man.
doesn't care, man.
He doesn't. Like, sometimes you're watching the game intently and you'll notice, all right, Cat, it's just not getting back on D.
Yeah.
But if you have the game on the background, you may not even notice it. Walt Clyde made sure that even if you weren't paying attention, I got you.
Right.
I'll let you know.
Right.
So that continues to be an issue, but the Knicks did win. It wasn't a great win, but a win's a win. They do play the Toronto tonight, which will be an interesting test, and we'll see how much Mitch plays if he does on a back-to-back against a good Toronto Raptors team. And late last night, Igor Joman showed he was a man because he was ready to throw down fists with Dylan Brooks, pushed him out of the way, and said, let's go. So a little toughness from my rookie. Anyhow, good fan focus. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did a lot there.
We'll come back with your phone calls, 888-808-1019, plus the Tiki list. Now we know Todd Monken is no longer a candidate for the Giants OC job, so where should they look? Evan and Tiki on a very busy Wednesday.
I am always busy and always on the go. Cheer competitions coming up. I'm not going to be at home as much. Being away from home, I want it to feel safe. More importantly, I want my family safe when I'm not with them. So I turned to our partners at Sloman's, and they installed the Sloman Shield Link system into our home, and it has been a game changer, combining safety convenience, and peace of mind. And I can manage it all from the comforts of my living room, my bed, or even in a hotel room, right from my phone. Last night, for instance, Trace and I laying in bed watching Outlander. And at about 11:30, she goes, "Did you turn on the alarm?" I said, "Oh, crap, I forgot." Luckily, my phone was right there. I just picked it up, clicked a couple of buttons, alarm set for home, so if I have to get up in the middle of the night, it doesn't go off. It was amazing and so convenient and so easy. You too can experience the future of home security and automation with the Sloman Shield Link system. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME or visit slomans.com.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
Buffalo Bills fans that are melting down, I think, need to chill a little bit. I understand why you're upset. The firing of Sean McDermott and now the hiring of offensive coordinator Joe Brady as the new head coach. You're wondering what's different now. I would argue a lot's different. McDermott's been the guy in charge for all of these playoff failures. Now it's somebody new that Josh Allen clearly likes. I think the hire of Joe Brady, a good day for Buffalo Bills fans. I'm Nick Costos.
COVID-19 has cast a spotlight on the stark inequalities that drive poverty. The poorest communities in the U.S. and around the world are suffering the most. Oxfam believes we can put systems in place to protect health and livelihoods in the future if we work together with dignity and compassion. Learn how you can help offer safety to the most vulnerable and fight for a more resilient future at oxfamamerica.org. Sponsored by Oxfam America.
Allstate is Metro New York's trusted auto insurer, protecting cars across the tri-state area. We're by your side when you need us most, providing you with affordable auto coverage you can rely on. So switch to Allstate today, and you could save an average of $713 on auto insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. Based on the national average annual savings for new customers surveyed in 2024, savings vary, subject to terms and availability.
Shop best of season produce at Whole Foods Market. Save on medium Hass avocados with Prime through February 3rd. Creamy, ripe, and ready for guacamole, savory toast, or topping soup. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
History's masterpieces wouldn't be the same without their most notable accents. Neither would the Kia Sportage without its multiple drive modes. The Kia Sorento without its expansive 12.3-inch panoramic display. Or the Kia Telluride without its 3 rows of spacious seating. The Kia SUVs. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
201-450-4263. Hi, I'm Dr. Glenn Gedgerman, and that's my cell phone number. If you've been recently diagnosed with prostate cancer, please call me directly at 201-450-4263. For more than 20 years, my team and I have helped prostate cancer patients at John Theurer Cancer Center's Radiation Oncology Department, now one of the largest programs of its kind in New Jersey. If you have prostate cancer, call my cell, day or night, at 201-450-4263. That's 201-450-4263. At John Theurer Cancer Center, we use TomoTherapy's unique guided radiotherapy to precisely focus on the prostate gland. Our treatments can be safely completed in a shorter period of time with fewer side effects and better sexual function. Call my cell at 201-450-4263. I'll make sure you're seen within 48 hours. John Theurer Cancer Center, a division of Hackensack Meridian Health.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4094. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-4094. That's 800-575-4094.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues. Live from Australia. Featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski.
He is an animal.
Defends his belt at home in an explosive rematch against Diego Lopez.
You gotta be kidding me!
And the always dangerous Dan Hooker.
Yes.
Throws down with powerhouse Benoit Saint-Denis in a high-action lightweight showdown.
Oh! There's never been anything like this.
UFC 325. Saturday, January 31st. Only on Paramount Plus.
The home of New York Giants football, The Fan.
Runs out of the tackle, down the right sideline, cuts inside at the 5, in for the touchdown!
1019 FM WFAN. WFAN FM. WFAN FM HD1 New York. An Odyssey sports station.
We'll talk to Connor Hughes coming up at noon of SNY. The latest on what the heck the Jets are doing. And now a new development on the Giants coaching search. The staff of John Harbaugh, because Todd Monken, who is long rumored to join him with the Giants, is going to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. So he is not available. And so we asked Tiki a few minutes ago, put together now a brand new list, the Tiki top 5, if you will. It's not a Cinco. It's not officially a Cinco, but your list of preferred OCs.
Yeah.
Now that Todd Monken is not going to be the guy.
This is in no particular order, but there is a connection, obviously, with Matt Nagy. Not directly, but because he was on Andy Reid's staff. They moved on from him, I guess. I don't really know the circumstances of that, but Eric Bieniemy is now back as the offensive coordinator in Kansas City. So Matt Nagy
wanted to be a play caller. He told Andy Reid, and that's why he left.
And so there's your answer. And so I think there's an opportunity because as I mentioned this before when we were talking about head coaches for the Giants before John Harbaugh was available. Why has Matt Nagy been in purgatory for so long? He had some pretty good seasons with Mitch Trubisky as a quarterback.
He deserves a second shot.
And got fired because they drafted Justin Fields and they won 7 games or whatever it was, which is a miracle given what Justin Fields has kind of become.
He had a level of success that other first-timers who ultimately failed had, where they deserve a second shot. It's just a matter of where. Like, Matt Nagy had more success than Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
And Robert Saleh, look, here he is.
Right. Cliff Kingsbury, he is out there. Only because of his work with quarterbacks, and I just worry that he might put Jackson Dart in harm's way, a la Jaden Daniels down in Washington. Dave Ragone, he was previously an offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. He has been the Rams quarterback coach over the last couple of seasons, and simply because of being in the McVay orbit, but also working with Matt Stafford is interesting. Davis Webb, who we mentioned before, who has been out in Denver. Obviously has a little bit of a Giant tie, but he was working under Sean Payton, not calling plays. He was not calling plays.
Sean Payton calls plays, though, right?
Yes, he
does. And they
does.
just fired their offensive coordinator, which leads me to wonder, is Davis Webb a candidate to just simply be promoted?
That feels like it's what's going to happen. Because he's been the pass game coordinator out there. But anyways, he
may prefer the Giant job, just to cut you off, because he would get to call plays.
Yeah.
Which he's not going to do in Denver, because I assume, again, Sean Payton is going to continue doing that.
And then a young name that I just happened upon, Declan Doyle, who is in Chicago. Same situation. Offensive coordinator by title, does not call plays.
Gotcha.
Ben Johnson does. So that's a short list. Now, I think John Harbaugh's list is probably significantly longer with guys who he has ties to and he would prefer. Like T. Martin, who was his quarterback coach for the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, before that, a wide receivers coach under him.
Yep, so he's got familiarity with him. Lamar Jackson is not that dissimilar, but their games are very different. So
I will offer
he has never called plays in the NFL, though.
I'll offer you a prediction. This is Sean Morash and Chris McMonagle, 2 great Giant fans. And Tommy Lugauer, threw him in there. I forgot about him, but he still exists. Here are their opinions on the next Giants offensive coordinator, and it doesn't matter if it's Tanner Engstrand. I trust Sean Harbaugh.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not mocking you. I'm just confirming that. And I would do the same thing. That's why I'm not mocking you. But they could hire anybody right now.
Yep.
And I think the opinions of the diehard Giant fan will simply be, I trust John Harbaugh.
Trust him. Right. But this is a minor hiccup because it did feel like
it's
this was
minor,
coming.
but I think there are options out there.
Sure.
Right, Matt.
Absolutely.
Again, I'll go back to Matt Nagy because he's my preferred right now, only because there's an Andy Reid tie. But if he wants to call plays, he's going to come and run this offense.
Right.
It's John Harbaugh's not, reaching in and saying we're going to do this instead. Now he may advise, but this will be Matt Nagy's offense.
This is where the Giant job is very appealing to a Matt Nagy who needs a job, so it's a little bit different. But even a Davis Webb, who we were assuming is going to be up for the Broncos OC job, just based on the fact that they're moving on from their OC.
Yes.
But in Denver, you don't call plays. In New York, you will. So maybe that does draw Davis Webb into being more drawn in by the Giant job than the Denver job. Do you have an endorsement, Mr. Talking Giants?
No, my endorsement is whoever John Harbaugh picks, I will paint my face blue and I'll be all over it.
I love
By the way, that's the real. What? Every time you do this it shocks me every time you do it. I don't know why. With Tommy, I always felt it was coming. Really? I swear.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm like, oh, what the heck was that?
I feel like I'm using it right.
You are.
The Jets have hired their defensive coordinator.
Oh, big one. Okay. It's not going to be Jimmy Leonard. He's probably going to go to Buffalo. I would assume it's Wink.
It's Aaron Glenn.
I would assume there was enough smoke around Wink Martindale that's the way Aaron Glenn went, but I don't know. So, Sean, who is the next defensive coordinator of the New York Jets?
Tiki is closest to the pin here. The Jets are hiring Brian Duker as their defensive coordinator. He's 36. He was the Dolphins' pass game coordinator, secondary coach last year. Prior to that, he was a defensive assistant with Aaron Glenn in Detroit for multiple years.
So it's Aaron Glenn's defense.
It's Aaron Glenn.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know who Brian Duker is.
I've never heard the name.
He looks like he could cut tape in the newsroom based on this picture.
So it's...
is that inspiring?
No, it concerns me because, and you've said this, while there's a part of me that says, great, Aaron Glenn is now fully responsible for this defense, I just wonder if his X's and O's are why we ever hired him. We didn't hire him because he was a great DC with Detroit. We hired him because he's a leader of men and is a CEO head coach. Well, he's no longer the CEO head coach. He's now the defensive coordinator who's going to hire someone to just run the offense, and he's going to have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, because that's why they likely reached out to Jon Gruden. And as they look for an offensive coordinator, the New York Jets, it's going to be someone who he doesn't have to mess with.
Right.
Like someone who's going to have full autonomy. Interestingly, that could be Matt Nagy as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
could be.
Who knows?
Oh, yeah, that's a tremendous hire if they pull that off.
Yeah, by the way, we should have known as soon as Aaron Glenn started mentioning that he wanted to be more involved in the defense.
That it wasn't going to be Wink.
It was never going to be Wink.
Yeah, it was going to be someone like this, someone who's getting an opportunity. What was his job in Miami?
He was the pass game coordinator, secondary coach. And remember this, including Wink, the Jets had interviewed 8 candidates. They called in Duker, I believe, last night to be a 9th.
Oh, my God.
And that was after the Wink stuff fell apart. And they hired him today.
Doesn't that look like pathetic, though?
Yeah.
I mean, this could work. Like Aaron Glenn could, very well turn the Jet defense.
It's a hire because you have an opening and you can't let this opening sit open for too much longer.
Well, and also it's an opening that you're basically filling yourself because you're going to be the defensive coordinator.
Right. You're going to take the responsibility.
Yeah.
And again, that might work for him. It might.
Well,
or it could
better.
It could grossly backfire.
Yeah. Well, we saw how it can spread you thin.
Yeah.
When you have to do both. We saw it with the Jets with Jeff Ulbrich, and we, to a degree, saw it with your guy. I already forgot his name.
Who?
Your head coach for a couple. The guy you just had.
Brian Dable?
Oh, no. Kafka. Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, who are you talking about? I thought you were talking on the defensive side. I'm like, what head coach was defense?
No.
We haven't had a defensive head coach since Belichick.
I apologize. He's so forgettable.
Not Belichick, since
Parcells. He's so forgettable, I forgot him. But yeah, Mike Kafka, that you can run yourself almost too thin, but Aaron Glenn is going to leave his imprints on the defense, and maybe they'll actually, get an interception next year. That would be nice.
That is just unreal.
It's an incredible stat.
Yeah, and it can never be broken.
It could be tied.
It never broken.
And I'll tell you this, if the Jets tie it again, he's definitely gone. So there you go. Chris Duker, who I'm still Googling to find out who he is the new defensive coordinator in name only, because Aaron Glenn will be the defensive play caller.
You have a spelling on that, Sean?
Duker. I guess it could be Ducker, but that would seem like a CK.
He doesn't even pop up on Pro Football Reference, this guy.
Hold on, let me make sure I didn't get Bull Sack Sports here.
Yeah, I think you're probably spelling it wrong.
Hold on.
This is all you need to know about the new Jets defensive coordinator.
Jets are hiring. Oh, I'm sorry. I called him Chris Duker.
What is it?
Brian Duker.
Brian.
No wonder he doesn't show up.
Duker. The Jets are hiring Brian Duker, 36 years old. Most recently was the Dolphins' pass game coordinator and secondary coach. There you go. They completed a virtual interview with him 21 hours ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah. This feels horrible.
He also at one point worked under John Harbaugh prior to the Lions.
There you go. He's got a tie to you guys.
Dude.
It feels pathetic.
He looks like a computer programmer.
That's what I said, right? He's cutting the highlights out in the newsroom.
Dumb question for you, Tiki.
Yes.
What do you do when you're not calling defensive play? Like, what's his job? Like, what's his job?
He's putting the defensive game plan together.
Okay.
He's, I don't know, making sure the scripts are right. He's teaching in some capacity. He's running the team meeting, but not the individual meetings. If Aaron Glenn is really going to be involved as the acting DC,
gotta be based on this hire.
I don't know what this kid does.
Okay, so we shouldn't freak out. Aaron Glenn is the defensive coordinator of the New York Jets. That's the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Glenn is going to run the defense while trying to coach this team.
Yes.
We're going to win.
That's basically what you're getting.
We're going to win 2 games this year.
But you know what? If you're on the hot seat before you even get to the NFL draft, you might as well put it in your own hands.
No, I get you. Go down swinging. Let's get back to your calls, 888-808-1019. Anthony is in Harlem. How you doing, Anthony?
I'm not doing too good, Ev.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk to you because you're the only other person in the room that suffers with this pain. These are dark times, bro. These are dark times. This owner is the worst owner in sports. You interview 8 guys, and then you hire a guy you interviewed 21 hours ago. This screams of dysfunction, of the owner putting his hands back in the cooking again. You're telling me Aaron Glenn wanted to fire his young offensive coordinator he hired a year ago? Of course he didn't, because he said, oh, we'll keep him on staff. That was Woody. You're telling me Aaron Glenn called up Jon Gruden and said, you'll be my offensive coordinator. This is Woody. And you said it, Ev, the only guy who can deal with this horrific owner is a guy like Gruden, who would say, give me a 6-year contract, go in your office, and the minute you come in my office, the first time I'm going to tell you go back in the office, the second time, I'm resigning. He cannot be anywhere near the football operations because this guy is as clueless as my wife. My wife would do a better job running the Jets than Woody Johnson.
No, it's tough to argue a lot of what you're saying. And because a part of me, and this is where I contradict myself, but I think Anthony's right. I have always said about Woody Johnson, I don't think he's hands-on for the first few years. I think he hires people, he lets them do their job, and then once things are bad, he gets handsy like he did in the final year of Robert Saleh, where bench Aaron Rodgers, fire Robert Saleh, and all that. I think in year one, he allowed Aaron Glenn to do his job.
Yeah.
And I think Anthony's right as we're trying to put together the pieces of this offseason. I think Woody looked at him and said, what the hell happened? You better change a lot of stuff.
Right.
And I absolutely believe the reach to Jon Gruden came from Woody Johnson, which is why I think ultimately Woody's going to make that same reach to John a year from now, give him whatever he wants, and he's going to hire him. And he's going to be the next head coach of the Jets. But I do agree we're already seeing a handsy approach from this owner who knows nothing.
Yeah. Well, he thinks he does. And it's his team, so he can do whatever he wants.
Of course he can do whatever he wants.
At the mercy of Woody.
Here's the beautiful thing, okay? Because I've heard this so often. He can do what he wants. I am not arguing he can do what he wants, but I also can say what I want.
Of course.
As can every Jet fan.
By the way, it hasn't worked.
That's right.
So he deserves to be criticized.
His track record sucks. He's a part of the longest streak of not making the playoffs in North American sports. So no one's arguing Woody doesn't have the right to do what he wants, but we have the right to call up Sports Talk Radio or say into a microphone that he sucks at what he does.
Right.
I just did it. And now I'm the biggest fool because as much as I say he sucks at what he does, I just got an email saying your payment went through for the Jets season tickets.
Oh,
so
I was wondering if you would hold on.
It was too late. I had to make a decision in November.
Dude, that resale value is going to be a nightmare for you next year.
You better plan to go to every game.
I think I am because, and truthfully, this is now about my youngest son loving going to games.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
and
all it's
if
about.
he has
By
a
the way, going to games is actually fun.
It is fun.
No, it's not. Even if look, I was at every Giant home game.
Yep.
And they weren't all fun from a on the field standpoint, but they were fun.
No, as long as I swear to you on this, with the Nets and the Mets and the Knicks are different. I was always re-upping. I am re-upping with the Jets because of Spence Roberts. He likes it.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. He's my football buddy. And it's only football. It's only 8 games.
Yeah, that whole, I want dollars is soon going to go. I want victories.
That's a fun remix.
I want victories.
Yeah. That's coming soon. You're right. The losing will get old at some point. Dave in Trumbull, Connecticut. What's up, Dave?
What up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yep.
I feel for you, man. My kids getting made fun of in school as Giants fans too this year.
Well,
So
that's gonna end.
Yeah, at least it's short-lived for you, Dave.
Yeah.
yeah, luckily Jackson's aren't handsome enough, so it keeps the boys around my daughter.
Yes,
that's all we really had looking forward to, and even as a half empty type thing with Harbaugh, I'm like, no guy's ever won 2 Super Bowls. It's like hard to have hope anymore. But regarding Aaron Glenn, would he have any backbone if he just after all these rumors and everything just said, hey, I want out of here and just resign from the job? Or is that a terrible thing to do?
He'll never be a head coach again.
Yeah.
You know what Aaron Glenn is coaching for right now, besides one of the great turnarounds in New York sports history? He's coaching to get a second chance.
Yeah.
Because if this team can show hope or promise next year, even if it still results in him losing his job, he can go back, be a DC, and re-enhance his value. If he resigns or is even fired after 1 year, I think he's done. I think Aaron Glenn will go back. He'll maybe get a coordinating job again.
Right.
But I don't think he'll ever get another opportunity to be a head coach. So, no, it's not an option. Chris and Merrick. Hey, Chris.
What's up, guys?
All's good.
I have a quick question for you before I get to my point. Do you think that Muji is tied to Glenn? I.e., if one goes, they both go.
It's a great question.
That is a great question. My gut is no.
Yeah, I think it's tied to where they go next.
Yes.
So, for example, as I have surmised on this show, Jon Gruden is the next head coach of the Jets. And I'm surprised everyone else isn't feeling the same way. I think it's painfully obvious.
No, I'm co-signing it with you.
You agree with me?
100%.
Okay. As soon as the report came out yesterday from The Athletic that the Jets reached out to Jon Gruden, my antenna was Woody Johnson reached out to Jon Gruden. This is not an Aaron Glenn decision. I cannot believe it would be because of the threat that he would pose. And that Woody is already telling you, I'm okay hiring this guy. The lawsuit, I'm okay. The emails, I'm okay. I am good employing this man, which means next year when the Jets are more desperate, it's clearly the guy he'll go to since the Jets do not have a job that people are banging down doors for.
Right.
If it is Jon Gruden and my summation is right, then Jon Gruden's going to decide who the GM is. And if he wants Darren Muji, great.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, he's gone.
Right.
If they have to go with another young coach, like it isn't Jon Gruden, he doesn't want the job, I'm wrong about Woody, then I think Darren Muji can lead the search the way Joe Douglas did. Remember, Joe Douglas came in during the Adam Gase era. Gase got fired. He hired Robert Saleh, or he was a part of hiring Robert Saleh. So I think the future of Muji is based on who the next coach is and even the way the draft looks. Like, they've got a top pick. What are they doing with it?
Right.
What does that player look like?
And by the way,
one?
next year, regardless of what happens this season, so let's say they screw up and they win 2 extra games than they're supposed to, they can still move up because they have extra draft picks next year.
Yeah.
Like, they're still in control of getting whatever quarterback they want next draft.
The only reason I won't say whatever is because if Arch Manning, let's just say he is the guy, and he's the Andrew Luck guy or the Trevor Lawrence guy, there's no price when a team wants to take their quarterback. We heard the reports a few weeks ago that the Dolphins made a Godfather offer to Cincinnati to trade up and get Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And the Bengals are like, nah, we're good.
Yep.
And so I think once there's an established guy that people really, really want, I don't think it matters how many draft picks you have. Same thing with the Giants a couple of years ago. Remember we heard them trying to trade up for Drake May. You know, they're going to offer a lot. And ultimately, New England was so set on drafting May after Caleb Williams and after Jaden Daniels that I don't think it would have mattered what the Giants offered.
You're probably right. And we see why. Because he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, he's, overrated, but whatever, if you ask me. How's he looked in the playoffs, Tiki?
He's been limited. But he's played 2 great defenses.
Of course.
And in the
3,
snow.
Jesse Minter, too.
Yeah, sure.
Nah, he's fantastic.
The Patriots are never trading out. That whole front office was totally in sync. They all sang, it's got to be May.
How long did you have that planned?
Kind of stole it from Nick Costos, but I added to it.
Oh, so you stole that?
But I added the in-sync part.
Nick Costos had it?
I'm going to fade back now. You guys enjoy the rest of the show.
I respect that you put him over, though.
I say it all the time now when I watch them.
Because you could have run with that, and some people would have known, but not everybody. They would have said, boy, that's Sean. Could have been May or should have been May.
It's gonna be
That's
May.
actually really good. That's good.
It was such a bad rendition that I didn't know what it was at first.
But I'm not a singer.
I clearly.
I did take chorus. But.
Eddie's in Rockland. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, fellas, what's happening? First thing, this whole thing of tanking for next year. Arch Manning is not that great. And if you say you're going to move up to get any other quarterback, there's really nothing there. Let me throw these quick names at you. At 2, they take Tate. At 16, they take the Oregon tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? In free agency, they take Kenny Walker III. Okay? And later in the draft, they take Drew Adler, who's a better quarterback than Arch Manning. And then you have an offense.
We found a Penn State fan.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
First of all, they have no defense.
Isn't it Aller?
Yeah,
Drew
Aller. A-L-L-E-R. They have no defense. Like, I already think in a lot of ways they have the framework for a good offense because they have a good offensive line. They got to make a big decision on AVT and John Simpson, who are free agents. They have to make a decision on Brees. But they have a good offensive line. They have a good running back room. They have a number 1 wide receiver. So I don't think they're that far away from building a good offense. They're going to have to use this draft to aggressively remake this defense. Let's not forget, they traded 2 of their best defensive players a year ago.
Right.
And as much as we all celebrate the move, they have to replace those guys. You know?
Right.
The easy part is trading someone off for draft picks. The hard part is using the draft picks and making those.
You can't miss, especially when they're in the first round.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. We'll get back to your calls coming up, 888-808-1019. Plus, Bill Belichick got snubbed, but it reminded me of one of the great moments in the history of WFAN, which we'll play for you coming up. All live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
This portion of the program was sponsored by Kalshi. Trade on anything. The big game is here, and now you can trade on football legally nationwide on Kalshi. Right now, New England is trading at 34% to beat Seattle. A $100 trade pays out $281. Use code FAN to get $20 when you trade $100. Kalshi. Kalshi. Trade on anything. Portion of the program was also sponsored by Ray Katina, Mercedes-Benz of Edison.
Just one drive in a Mercedes-Benz, you'll understand why it's a gift that keeps on giving. The Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration lives on at Mercedes-Benz of Edison. Choose from over 500 vehicles and experience the love during the extended Holiday Love Celebration at Mercedes-Benz of Edison.
The home of Super Bowl 60 on Westwood 1 is WFAN.
Jackson Smith in Jigma with a diving two-hand catch for 6.
The Patriots will face the Seahawks for the Lombardi Trophy in Santa Clara on February 8th.
To the end zone! Touchdown, Patriots!
Get insight and the latest breaking news about the biggest game of the year here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always playing on the iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and Odyssey apps.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store, and they'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into a paper airplane headed to see you never. AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, their best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So, just bring your bill to your local Verizon store, and they'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on Root Metrics Root Score Report 1/8/2025. Results may vary. Must provide a postpaid customer mobile bill within the past 45 days and the name of the person redeeming the bill. Additional terms apply.
Hey, it's John Gallucci Jr., President and CEO at JAG Physical Therapy. It's hockey season, and your little pros get big injuries too. Parents, play it safe. If your son and daughter sustain an injury, JAG Physical Therapy is prepared. Our licensed physical therapists, occupational therapists, and certified athletic trainers treat you at our state-of-the-art facilities. Our physical therapists are certified to treat all sports injuries, from youth leagues to the big leagues. Injuries can happen to anyone, and it's important that you get treated right away. We are an in-network provider with most insurance companies, including Medicare. When you get injured, we're ready at JAG Physical Therapy, and we look forward to cheering you on from the sidelines.
JAG is the only outpatient physical therapy and occupational therapy provider that serves the 5 boroughs, Long Island, Rockland, Westchester, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Schedule your visit today at jagpt.com. That's JAGPT.com.
Get back the life you love at Jag Physical Therapy.
Nissan trucks and SUVs are built for next-level adventure. Too much gear? Dirt? Rock? Sand? Get in a Nissan truck or SUV and feel unstoppable. Whether you want to take your next level of adventure in the Frontier Dark Armor, the Pathfinder, the Armada, or the Rogue, you'll be ready for what comes your way. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. Get 0% APR on the 2026 Nissan Rogue, 2025 Murano, or Pathfinder for well-qualified buyers. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Example 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary, subject to INMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 2/2/26.
Hey, Metro New York. Ready for real savings? Switch to Allstate today. Because drivers who switched saved an average of $713 on their auto insurance. So, what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for an auto insurance quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. Based on the national average annual savings for new customers surveyed in 2024, savings vary, subject to terms and availability.
Let's go! You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Listen to You Better You Bet with Nick Costa Sunday morning at 8 right here on The Fan. Nick will preview all the football action and get you ready for kickoff, presented by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, it's Sal Licata here for CertaPro Painters. You know, my home is a very happy place, especially when my wife is satisfied. And while that's not an easy thing for me to achieve, my friends at CertaPro Painters had no such problems. Big jobs, small jobs, the good folks at CertaPro Painters are at your service. If you've been putting off a painting project, give them a call at 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with a C, and you'll see exactly what I mean. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com.
Boomer here. If you love cooking as much as I do, you got to listen up. The Chef IQ Mini Oven is your all-in-one kitchen hero. It bakes, broils, air fries, dehydrates, slow cooks, toasts, and more. It's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, a color touchscreen, a soft closed door. It even syncs with the Chef IQ app, and pair it with the IQ Sense thermometer for perfect USDA-safe temps every single time you cook. So why not grab yours right now at chefiq.com. Use my name, code word Boomer, to save 30% at checkout. Hey, Boomer here. When the game's on the line, you need a winning play. And for electrical pros, that's Cooper Electric. With 70 locations all across the tri-state area and easy online ordering, my friends at Cooper Electric have the inventory and expertise to keep your projects moving. From tools to wire to lighting, Cooper is the playbook for pros who want to win every single job. Make the winning play. Visit Cooper-Electric.com today. That's Cooper-Electric.com. Cooper Electric, our knowledge is electric.
Looking for the best value on new tires? Get to Town Fair Tire. We honor every valid manufacturer's and competitor rebates and give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
And we're out. Back in 60.
Hey, what are you eating?
Chimichurri filet mignon. It's a Factor meal.
Oh, nice. Wait, they let you eat like that in the pros?
Oh, they insist on it. A pro's work starts on the plate.
Oh, man, that does look good. Let me have a taste?
Get your own.
All right. Where do I find this? Is it factormeals.com?
Yep, and they've got a deal going on.
Oh, love a deal. I am so in.
Smart move. Pro move.
All right. Factor. Eat like a pro.
Cloudy and quite cold, high 23.
Weather brought to you by Staples. 2026 is here, and at Staples, deals mean business. Like up to $100 off custom print orders. Head into the new year looking good for less. Staples. That was easy. Ends 1/31.
When this happened, you talked about it on The Fan.
I would like to introduce to you the next head football coach of the New York Giants, John Harbaugh.
Wow, thanks, Joe. Appreciate that very much. And what an honor. What an exciting moment.
When New York sports happens, talk about it here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
We'll get to the Belichick snub in a few minutes, but yesterday, if you were listening to our show right at the start at 10 a.m., we examined all the smoke that existed around Giannis Antetokounmpo and potentially the New York Knicks. There was a lot of smoke. We now have some fire.
This Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. A busy morning keeps getting busier in the sports world. Shams has dropped his bomb. Two-time MVP Giannis Tiki
Antetokounmpo
is ready for a new home at the February 5th NBA trade deadline or in the offseason as several rival teams make aggressive offers to the Milwaukee Bucks for him, and the franchise is starting to listen, league sources tell ESPN. This Fan Focus was sponsored by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
So the way he words this is hysterical. I mean, instead of saying Giannis is demanding a trade, which is what is happening, he says Giannis is ready for a new home.
Ready for a new home, and teams are now lining up to offer him. I mean, it's just kind of like this, I don't know, like Coming to America. Everybody's looking for the girl, looking for a wife or whatever. Hop on one leg. Arf. It's like, what are we doing here?
Because Giannis, is sensitive.
Yeah, he is.
He is sensitive to, I'm demanding a trade.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a legend in Milwaukee. They should build him a statue, the NBA championship. I get all that, even though the only reason he has an NBA championship is because he cheaply stepped on Kyrie Irving's ankle, but whatever. He could just say he demanded a trade, which is what's happening. Now, as Shams writes, it may happen during the offseason. But the reason why it makes more sense to happen now is because Giannis eventually is a free agent at the end of next season.
Right.
And so the longer this goes, the more power Giannis has to direct where he goes. If you're a team like Detroit, let's use them as an example, they are fully equipped to trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Because they got so many young players.
The Pistons would get multiple cracks at winning an NBA championship with him. So even if Giannis doesn't want to go there, he doesn't have the ability to really force it to not happen.
Right.
And so if you're Detroit, you want to make that trade today as opposed to next year, because after this season, Giannis only has one more year left on his deal at $58 million. There's another year of a player option, but he will clearly say no to that player option. So if you're Detroit or another team that may not be as appealing to Giannis because he wants to be a Knick, you're going to trade for him now. Then you get two opportunities, no matter what Giannis wants, to win an NBA championship. And you don't need the extension. If you wait to the offseason, and this is my advice to Knick fans, if they wait till the offseason, there is a much better chance he'll be a New York Knick. It doesn't
How
mean
come?
Because then Giannis can direct his way to the Knicks.
Right.
Not only will the Knicks have more suitors to move a Mikal Bridges or a Karl Anthony Towns, but Giannis, if he wants, can wield the power of, I will not extend with anybody but the Knicks. So it's not a no-trade clause, but it's a no-extension clause that he can use on everybody if he wants to wield it.
Right, and then there's no value, and there's not value is the wrong word, but you're not going to do it. You're not going to trade for Giannis for a season unless you're really right there on the edge. And whereas Detroit this year, they can take a shot at it.
It's two shots.
Yeah, 2 shots. They're the top team in the East right now. They're young. They have some really good players on that squad, led by Cade Cunningham, and now they can take a shot with Giannis, and then if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, you take another one next year.
Yes. Now, I have always been convinced that the Knicks wouldn't be able to do it in the middle of the season for two reasons. A lack of willingness, thinking, hey, we already have a finals team. Let's see what we have. I think that's changed. I think the handling of Karl Anthony Towns, the season that he's had, I think the Knicks are much more willing today than they were 3 months ago to say, all right, screw it, let's blow it up, let's go get Giannis.
You think that's why Karl Anthony Towns didn't play in the fourth quarter?
Why? To keep him
Healthy?
rested?
No. Healthy?
No.
I mean,
no.
We found out about this at, 10, 11, 15 or whatever it is. Don't you think the teams knew for a while?
Oh, no. I think the Knicks knew that Giannis would be available. I think that Mike Brown is coaching to win a basketball game, and unfortunately for Karl Anthony Towns, him being on the floor in the last 6 minutes didn't give them the best chance to win a basketball game.
Right.
It's not the first time we've seen it. So I don't think it has anything to do with that because
just asking.
Mikal's playing big minutes, and trust me, Mikal's a big part of this. Mikal Bridges is the key to this whole thing because the report the other day that the Blazers are hot for him is huge. It's huge because, A, the Blazers own Bucks picks. And if the Blazers are willing to say, you know what? We love this guy. We got a 500 team. We got a good young team. We'll take Mikal and we'll ship off a few of our Milwaukee picks to the Knicks or then eventually back to Milwaukee.
Right.
I think the Knicks are halfway done to making the trade. If you get yourself a few picks that Milwaukee can gain control of, dude, that is monstrous.
Especially where their season is heading, and especially without Giannis, where their season will be headed.
1,000%. It allows them to freely tank. So I think the Blazers' interest in Mikal Bridges is monstrous. Now, if they're really interested in OG Anunoby, and it's not Mikal Bridges, and this is all a smokescreen, then we got a difficult conversation because I don't know how many Knicks fans are that willing to move OG. I think you're more willing to move Mikal and Cat. And obviously the Cat issue is another story because then you got to find another team that's willing to take on Cat and give some assets to Milwaukee. I think the Knicks have a puncher's chance, but I think they have a better chance during the offseason.
Right.
So,
which makes sense.
We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll keep you posted. Now, as far as Bill Belichick's concerned, I mean, are we going to waste everyone's time screaming and yelling the obvious? Of course he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. What happened here is either, hey, he's going to get in, don't worry, we need to get these other veterans in, or there is just such a bitterness towards Bill Belichick over Spygate and just who he is that these unnamed people, because we don't know who voted against him in the 50-man group, they held it against him. But Bill will be a Hall of Famer. It's just not happening on the first ballot. And we all know he's one of the greatest coaches of all time, and he should go in on the first ballot. I just don't lose any sleep over it because he's going to get in.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer, and I guess being a first ballot Hall of Famer has some prestige to it. There's only 5 of them, I believe. I know Tom Landry was one. Curly Lambeau was one.
You're proving the point, though. Nobody remembers this.
Yeah.
First ballot doesn't matter.
Tom Landry, you remember, because, I mean, we talked about Mike Tomlin, consecutive winning seasons. He had 20.
That's crazy.
And 2 Super Bowls. So I think there's 5 of them. I just can't remember the other ones. But again, it doesn't matter. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer at some point. And the only thing that you could get upset about is the narrative that media members potentially are trying to create. And I only bring this up because of the T.O. stuff. Like T.O., when he retired, second leading receiver in the history of the National Football League, which is a lot of yards. And he got kept out for 3 seasons, I think, or 3 years, because this is the media quote, nobody wanted him. Meaning he'd go somewhere, wear out his welcome, help them win, get the Eagles to the Super Bowl, but at the end, nobody wanted him.
Right.
Despite his massive production. And so he got held out for 3 years, and then he got in. And 20 years from now,
no one knows.
No one's going to give a crap.
Joe DiMaggio wasn't first ballot.
Yeah.
That's the mic drop moment for New York. Like, it doesn't.
Bill Belichick wasn't. Not Bill Belichick. Bill Parcells wasn't first ballot.
Is that true?
Yes.
See, I don't even remember.
There's only 5, and he wasn't one of them.
The annoying thing is the Bill Polian aspect of it, because there was a report that Bill Polian was basically telling all the other voters, hey, we should kind of give him a year to not get in because of Spygate.
That's the only thing that bothers me.
Well, here's what should bother you, because I'm going to further this story with a quote from ESPN involving Bill Polian.
Mm-hmm.
In an interview with ESPN on Tuesday night, Bill Polian denied telling fellow voters that Belichick should serve a 1-year penance for Spygate. But he said he heard a few fellow voters float the idea. But he insisted he didn't agree or disagree with the proposal.
Mm-hmm.
Polian said he voted for Kraft and even spoke up on his behalf during the deliberations, saying Robert Kraft had no knowledge of the Spygate scheme. Polian added, this is the money part. Polian added, he could not remember with 100% certainty if he voted for Belichick, saying he was 95% sure he voted for the coach and the player, most likely L.C. Greenwood. How do you not remember who you voted for?
If you cannot remember, you should never vote again. Because it means you're not of sound mind to vote. I'm sorry, that's the truth. If that's what you're telling the truth, you're out as a voter.
he didn't vote for Bill.
No, of course he didn't.
And he doesn't want to fully lie, even though he is lying by saying he doesn't remember. But Bill Polian is...
That's strike two for him. Lamar
Right.
Jackson's a wide receiver. Now Bill Belichick's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Just get Bill Polian as far away from anything football related as possible now.
There is one good...
That's pretty bad.
There is one good piece.
Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Don Shula.
And that's it.
And then Curly Leonard and...
Curly Lambeau.
Curly Lambeau, and then I forget the other. There was two that went in the inaugural class.
Gotcha.
I mean, Bill deserves that.
Of course no one's going to argue that. Like, seriously, Bill Belichick, of course.
What if Bill drops dead in 5 months?
Well, then he won't be alive to
You know
see
what I'm
it.
saying, though? Like,
No, let me tell you.
that's where it matters. Like, these
Okay.
coaches are older. You shouldn't be spitefully making them wait.
They also changed the rule where coaches didn't have to wait 5 years, and now it's just a year.
Right.
Year
Okay.
out of the NFL. And some people may be pushing back on that.
It's stupid. We all agree Bill Belichick's first ballot Hall
By
of
the way,
Famer.
all these Hall of Fames are stupid.
Yeah, I know. Look at baseball right now.
Seriously.
I know.
And so, it's just something to get aggrieved about, even though you don't really care.
That's my point.
People are going to start screaming.
I know.
Why? You don't really care.
You don't care. You also,
Trust me, you don't. There are other things that are happening in your house that are probably more important than Bill Belichick not getting in the Hall of Fame. Why are you screaming about it? He's going to be a Hall of Famer. There are things going on in this country and this world that are much more worth your energy getting pissed off about than Bill Belichick not getting in as a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I'll also dumb that down even more.
He's still freaking coaching, and he could be in a league in another year.
That's true.
Like, shut up.
I'll dumb it down even more because obviously there's always more important things going on in the world. There's more important things going on in sports than this.
Right.
Like, Bill's going to be a Hall of Famer. We know the outcome, so why are we getting pissed about it?
George Halas was the other one.
Papa Bear.
You guys are 100% right. Nobody actually cares as much as you should care. But
I don't know. I saw a clip of Big Mac. He looked like he was going to have a heart attack.
Because
He
here's
was
the
pissed.
thing. You know this, and there's nothing more aggravating than turning something that's not debatable into a debate.
I got you.
And that's what these voters have done. It is not debatable that Bill Belichick deserved to go
So
in
why
here.
is it a debate?
Because they created it by keeping him out. That's why. That's what's insane
But he's
about
going to
it.
go in.
But why are we even making him wait? Why?
Who cares? Do you think he cares if he's waiting?
I think he does.
I think he's pissed.
I think he does.
I think he feels... Actually, Gio made a great point this morning. I want to quote him on this. That I think he was pissed. Like, dude, I'm the greatest. Like, 6 isn't enough. And I think seeing the outpouring reaction is making Bill feel really good. And G made that point. I like that one. That Bill is looking at the world saying, wow, everybody loves me.
Okay, so relative to everybody else, and even those that were first ballot Hall of Famers, you had to wait.
Right.
Now he's a year out and he wants to be in the Hall of Fame. So what are you mad about? The fact that they changed the rule and it's now 1 year instead of 5 and you didn't get in, or the fact that you didn't get in even though you didn't wait the 5 years?
I think it's just, I'm the best of all time. Why am I not in a media?
Yeah, but it's the way that they have to vote coaches in it's hard because you're voting in, they're getting lumped in with veteran committee athletes.
Right.
Like the Roger Craigs of the world, or
that should be separate, by the way. I
it
think.
should be, but it's not. That's the reality. That's why Tom Coughlin's not a Hall of Famer, even though he clearly is a Hall of Famer.
And this is going to hurt him, by the way.
Of course it is.
I also don't understand if you change the rule to 1 year and it still doesn't help Bill get in, why change the rule?
Don't know.
That's a fair point.
Don't know.
But here's the good news.
That's a very good question.
Here's the great
because certain people are self-important.
That's true. Bill's going to get in, so everybody can calm down.
Yes.
But this does remind me of maybe a top 5 moment in the history of WFAN, and it's worthy of bringing back as a WFAN flashback. So one of the reactions is, hey, we need to know the names of the people that voted against Bill because we want to publicly shame them.
Do we?
I think a lot of people feel that way.
I think we'll shame them for a few minutes.
Yeah, a few minutes.
Maybe an hour.
Oh, I want to shame them. I want names.
And then you won't remember their name.
Yeah, but they'll get their 5 minutes of fame.
So why give them 5 minutes of fame?
So they can be publicly shamed. That's what I think people think.
And everybody will forget by tomorrow.
That's true.
It's less than a one-day story.
I guarantee all, if not some of those 10 people have
11.
called other people hot take artists.
11.
Okay. They've
11.
called 11. They've called
At least
people.
11, by the way.
They've called
It
people.
could have been 20.
Like Tommy Lugauer or me, hot take artists when they pop up on Instagram.
Look, I keep hearing the 11. It's 10 or 11. It could have been 20.
It could be.
It could have been 30.
Oh, it's just the minimum is what you're saying.
The minimum that did not vote him in is 11.
Well,
it could have been 30.
It could have been, which is crazy.
It could have been May.
Could have been May. But people want to publicly shame them. And it reminds me, of a top 5 moment in the history of WFAN. I take you back to when Jacob deGrom won the Cy Young, and he should have been unanimous. But there was one writer who decided to not vote for Jacob deGrom, which led to Steve Summers doing what you said, which is, hey, I'd like to publicly shame that person. So I take you back to the interview. In fact, we're going to play the entire interview of Steve Summers publicly shaming the voter who didn't vote for Jacob deGrom in this very special WFAN flashback.
WFAN flashback. There was one baseball writer, and we have him on the line right now, John Maffei, of this, not from Washington, where you would think homerism lives and thrives. John Maffei is with the San Diego Union Tribune. John, can you look at yourself in the mirror? John?
Can I? Yeah, absolutely.
No. You're looking for 15 minutes of fame and attention.
Steve, this interview's over. Thank you. Goodbye.
What? Well, there's a guy, with a little, with
That was it?
That was it, yeah. What'd you think of that one?
What a soft-skinned wimp.
I know.
I mean, come on, dude.
And the best part is anyone who knows Steve knows he was screwing around.
Of course he was.
I mean, he was not screwing around fully because it was a 15 minutes of fame thing.
God, it's just like some of these writers write the most damaging things and demeaning and insulting, professionally, obviously, about athletes and coaches. Yet they are the thinnest skinned people in the history of the world. I know. It's like, I can dish it out, but I get to hide behind my pen and paper. Like, come on, dude. Why even agree to come on if you're going to bitch out like that? Seriously.
How do you even look at yourself in the mirror? This interview is over.
Steve, this interview is over. Click.
Can you look
and
at
he felt good about
yourself in
himself,
the
by the
mirror?
way, hanging up on Steve Summers. He felt really good about himself. I got him. I showed him.
What?
And the innocence of Steve.
I know.
What? What just happened?
What?
I wonder if he ever regretted that.
Can you look at yourself in the mirror?
I think Steve is such a good guy that there's probably, like that night, do you remember who produced him? Was it Rosie that night, Paul Rosenberg?
Do I remember who produced Steve
Yeah,
that long ago?
I thought you were an archivist here at WFAN.
I have no idea.
Knowing Steve, because he's such a good freaking person.
Of course.
I think there's a chance he did feel bad. And then
What?
probably...
No, I'm talking about the guy who hung up if he felt bad.
Oh, no, he's a scumbag.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't even remember that.
Oh, you don't think he remembers that?
What? No.
Getting publicly shamed.
He lives in San Diego. He's moved on. His toes were in the beach 10 minutes later.
And the funny part is, Tiki.
Right. And I don't even remember his name anymore.
Yeah, what was it? Mooney?
John Maffei.
Maffei. You know I'm a fanboy for deGrom. I could not have cared less that a person didn't vote for him. Like, my opinion was, he won the Cy Young.
Right.
Let's move on.
What?
Anyhow, there you go. One of the top 5 moments of the history of WFAN. Let's go to Ralph in Lakewood, New Jersey. Hey, Ralph.
Hi, what's up? Okay, listen. The same way you guys are up there on the radio, and when a quarterback's in a big moment, you're critiquing him in a big spot, he fell under pressure. I must say, Evan, you dropped the ball today in a big moment. You did.
How'd I do it?
You
What'd
did?
I do?
And because when glass breaks, I stop in the car. It's a heart-stopping moment. There's breaking news. I pull over. I stop driving. I wait to hear what's going to go on. And Sean goes and says the Jets hired Brian Duker as DC. Big moment. You go on the computer and you put in Chris Duker. And then you go and tell Sean and everyone over there, oh, the Jets are so incompetent, that guy is not even showing up in the reference. Evan, are you kidding me? Hello? Number one.
Good job, Ralph. Good job calling him out, Ralph.
Number two.
Yeah.
Okay? When you guys come back from commercial, there's like when this happened, you heard it here on WFAN. And also, It's another big moment. I get nostalgic, maybe a Tino Martinez 98 Grand Slam bomb, or maybe when Carlos Beltran struck out against I get excited. Yeah, obviously. Very excited. And all of a sudden you guys go and play, John Harbaugh and you go and play an interview that happened 3 days ago. What are we doing over here?
A lot of good critiques.
That's good critiquing there.
Number one on myself, I was wrong. I own it. I did not input the right name.
You made me think I said Chris.
That's how forgettable this new DC is.
Brian Duker. It's not Chris Duker. So I raise my hand, L. And I'm glad that the glass breaks causes our last caller to pull that car over because it is breaking news. And that's what we told Sean. Be careful. It's got to be news. Yeah.
Can't be something stupid. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I do think that's breaking news. The Jets are hiring a DC.
Of course.
Totally good with that. So I take my L. The second one is a great question. And I think if you listen on the podcast, you don't hear it. If you listen on the radio, 1019, 660, or the Odyssey app, you do hear it, which is we come back out of breaks out of a big moment in New York sports, which I think is really, really cool. And then we come back. And his critique is, should we have a moment that occurred a week ago? It's a great question. Now, we are not in charge of that, but we certainly have a right to critique it. So I ask you guys, should it only be classic moments, or is it okay to include a moment that was 5 minutes ago?
Me personally, knowing the inventories I've gotten to know over the last 4 weeks, I think the issue is it is a moment worth playing. The issue is because it's so fresh, I don't know how this works back there, but it's the only moment we seem to be playing. You know what I mean? So I think he keeps hearing it.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, this only happened 3 days ago. I think it deserves to live there because you heard it here on the Fan, right? We had the press conference.
Right.
And that's kind of the thing. It's not just, it's past and current. The problem is it feels like it's the only one running right now.
Yeah.
I think that is the issue. The repetition of it makes it feel like I know this intimately, even though it doesn't really play that much, but it plays consistently.
The other thing he brought up, I know he was half joking, is should they include bad moments? Because he's right. We're here for the bad and the good.
Oh, they absolutely should include
So we
bad
should
moments.
include Carlos Beltran striking out against Adam Wainwright.
Yeah,
Aaron Judge
why
dropping
not?
a fly ball.
We talked about it. People called and talked. They probably called more and talked about it.
Both of you, are hypocrites.
Why?
Because a year ago, right here on WFAN, I was presenting another FAN flashback. We just did one with Steve Summers. I had an FAN flashback that you guys said I should not play.
Which was?
Mike and Chris talking about Game 7 against the Red Sox in 2004. And you said, no, we can't do that. And
There's certain ones.
Oh, that one we can't.
Now that's the one.
Why?
There's certain moments, Evan.
Why?
Like a Mount Rushmore that need to be erased from history. Blowing a 3-0 lead to the Red Sox, that's a Red Sox moment.
So Beltran striking out against Adam Wainwright, good. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the Mets have lost enough. That changed history.
Yeah.
So losing to the Red Sox with a 3-0 lead changed history.
Yeah, for Boston.
For you. You've won one World Series since. You're not the same Yankees. How can you say it didn't change for you?
It's got to get it out of the system.
It's still too soon, is what he's saying.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
That's the one.
It's
Any
still
other
too
Yankee
soon.
loss you put up there.
Aren't you over the Beltran?
No.
He's going to the Hall of Fame to celebrate.
Exactly. You're over it.
No, I'm not over it.
He's
How
wearing
dare
a Mets
you?
hat?
We did try to get him on, but of course Evan struck out. So
I didn't strike out looking though. I struck out swinging. He's very busy that week. He will come on eventually if you still want to talk to him. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Of course.
He's
a Hall of Famer.
I'll give you this prediction about Carlos Beltran. While we're making predictions, he's the next manager if Mendy gets canned.
Whoa.
Yeah. He's in the organization.
Yeah.
I could totally see it. I could absolutely see it. First of all, he was also the manager. He just never got an opportunity because of that stupid sign-stealing scandal.
Can we ask him how it feels to be a Hall of Famer before Bill Belichick?
Let's go to Fernando in Rutherford. Hey, Fernando.
Hi, guys. A little smorgasbord of sports. I love it. That's why you guys are the best. Quick little plug for Odyssey. All my boys and my brother listening on the Odyssey app.
Nice.
Excellent. Yes, sir. A quick thing on Belichick. All I got to say about that is hate is going to hate. And then what I called in for really is Tiki, I'm with you. Matt Nagy is the slam dunk choice here, right? Experienced play caller. And then I called the morning show about 3 weeks ago before they hired Harbaugh. The name for me that we need to bring in, and I know it's been around, it's thrown around. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. We got to get Charlie Weiss Jr. here. If we could pair up Nagy and Charlie Weiss Jr., I love that for Dart. And as I said before, you guys are the best. happy to be on.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so Charlie Weiss Jr., he's at Ole Miss. He was is he going with Lane?
I think he is.
So obviously the staff stayed behind at Ole Miss, except for Lane during the college football playoff because he took the job at LSU. And Charlie Weiss Jr., he's 32 years old. He's a quarterback coach at Ole Miss. So obviously there's familiarity with Jackson Dart. So I just don't know how ready he is to be on the NFL.
He is
level.
the LSU OC.
So he's now, and
he spoke to the Eagles. He was another guy that said no thanks.
Right. So if you are Charlie Weiss Jr., you have a lot of future prospects for jump into the NFL at some point.
You know what's insane is I'm searching.
But are you going to come to the Giants you're not going to come as a coordinator. You're not going to come to the Giants and be the coordinator.
What would he be? Lower level job?
Quarterback coach or something like that.
Yeah. I think he was suggesting OC. You're saying he's not ready for that?
He's 32, man. He's never called plays in college.
I mean, the Jets, he's 36. Who
Isn't
cares?
Scheelhaus 30?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like a nerdy genius, right?
This is Charlie Weiss. So what's crazy about this is you picture Charlie Weiss being this big, heavy man, everything, and Charlie Weiss Jr. looks like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
I think it's Mark Wahlberg in this picture. It's insane.
Are you suggesting that Charlie Weiss is not the father? Is that what you're saying right now?
All I know is Charlie.
It's quite an accusation.
Charlie Weiss spent a lot of time in New England during the heyday of Mark Wahlberg. I'm sure his wife was spending a lot of time up there too, and Mark Wahlberg was attending a lot of Patriot games. Now Charlie Weiss Jr., 32 years later, looks like Mark Wahlberg.
Stop. No, he doesn't.
That's an accusation from Sean.
I mean, sometimes he does. Some pictures he does. Most he does not.
Hopefully he comes here so someone can ask him that. Is Mark Wahlberg your dad?
What a plot twist in American history that would
be amazing. When we come back, the latest on what the Giants will do at offensive coordinator and what the Jets are doing overall with Connor Hughes, who's as locked in as anybody, of course, he of SNY. He'll join us in a few minutes. Plus, a ton more of your phone calls if you want to join our little radio program, 888-808-1019. And a little bit later on, we'll find out why Joel Sherman hates Sean Morash. New York. Mark your calendars. This Saturday, two world champions in their prime collide at the Mecca of boxing. They were there last night for the Knicks game. They're colliding at Madison Square Garden. Brooklyn's own Teofimo Lopez, reigning king of 140, faces Newark's undefeated pound-for-pound superstar Shakur Stevenson in a showdown the sport has been waiting for. The ring and WBO junior welterweight world titles are on the line. Two champs, only one king of New York. Don't miss Teofimo versus Shakur this Saturday exclusively on DAZN. Buy the pay-per-view or join DAZN Ultimate and get Ring 6 at no extra cost. Buy now at DAZN.com.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
If you think Spygate tarnished the legacy of Bill Belichick, look at what happened before and after Spygate. Before, the greatest defensive coordinator of all time. His game plan for Super Bowl 25, ironically enough, in Canton. Afterwards, multiple Super Bowl championships, conference championships, double-digit win seasons. It is such a joke that he won't be going in on the first ballot. Terrible job by the writers and selectors. I'm Nick Hustos.
Empower. Ellie here is getting the sleeve she's always dreamed of. She worked with Empower and planned for her next move, so she got good at money. Now she can be a little bad. Oh, by the way, you spelled journey wrong. No worries. She can afford the cover-up, too. Ooh, check out my tat. It says, invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Operating engineers Local 825 are the men and women who make our region move. So whether it's roads, bridges, or our favorite team stadium, they build and maintain the critical transportation, water, and energy infrastructure we rely on. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing the signatory contractors and the hardworking men and women who build both New York and New Jersey.
Sunday no longer a
fun day? We've got specialists for that. Walking the dog, unleash, knee pain? We've got specialists for that. With 45 Castle Connolly top doctors, Orland & Cohen specialists are considered among the best in the nation by their peers, which can mean a better outcome for you. From Staten Island to Southampton, our network is open 7 days a week, so you can feel better, faster. Visit OrlandCohen.com.
History's masterpieces wouldn't be the same without their most notable accents. Neither would the Kia Sportage without its multiple drive modes. The Kia Sorento without its expansive 12.3-inch panoramic display. Or the Kia Telluride without its 3 rows of spacious seating. The Kia SUVs. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
It's Tiki Barber with 2 words any business owner wants to hear. Extra income. Amazon Hub Delivery is looking for New York businesses to assist with local deliveries. You get paid for each package delivered. Amazon Hub Delivery has no startup cost, no long-term contracts, and no delivery experience required. If you're a New York business ready to assist with local deliveries, sign up today at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
It's about time your deliveries worked as fast as you do. Your jobs can't wait. That's why the Home Depot delivers when and where you need it. Scheduled, next day, or even same day. You order, we deliver. It's that easy. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula?
No.
Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo?
Absolutely not. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Revitalize your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select vanities and free delivery during our bath savings event. Plus, get up to 40% off select shower heads. No matter what style you're looking for, we've got you covered. Shop for your bathroom refresh at Lowe's. We help, you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
Football coverage on The Fan is brought to you in part by Town Fair Tire. At Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Wake up with Boomer and Geo. Mornings 6 to 10 on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
What a day. What a day it is. Thanks for joining us. It is 12 noon. Evan and Tiki on The Fan for another 2 hours. Sean will feed us a Cinco de Lunch on a little bit. Plus, he's very excited to find out why Joel Sherman hates him. But we'll all find out together.
I know. What did he do?
You'll see.
I mean,
You'll
Sean,
see. Yeah.
I know you're like Twitter, whatever, not even whatever, an expert at this point.
I'm popping on there.
Stop making enemies, man.
Yeah, he makes enemies, man. Francesa didn't like him, still doesn't like him. I certainly get the sense Craig doesn't like him. And now we know Joel Sherman doesn't like him.
Craig doesn't like me?
Oh, yeah, I get that vibe.
Really?
Listen. Oh, yeah. I got clips. I forgot to send them to you. We'll get to it at some point when it's a slow day.
All right.
But if you've missed any of the show, you can rewind it on the Odyssey app, breaking down Bill Belichick getting shunned, Giannis Antetokounmpo now being available via trade. But if you go back way to the beginning of this show, my interpretation of the Jets reaching out to Jon Gruden is that next year, when Aaron Glenn is gone, Woody Johnson's going to reach out again and this time make Jon Gruden the head coach. That's how I feel. Now let's get some information from one of the best reporters out there, the great Connor Hughes, who does a fine job with SNY. Connor, as always, thank you very much for coming on.
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
Fantastic. Am I wrong to surmise that the reaching out to Jon Gruden wouldn't have come from Aaron Glenn, but would come from ownership? Am I wrong to think that?
Look, from my understanding, and this is talking from sources within the Jets building, and you know there's going to be two sides to everything. You can talk to people outside the Jets building, they're going to say this. Inside the building, the Jets are saying this. They stress, and you can choose who you want to believe, they stress that Woody Johnson has been very hands-off in this approach, that they is truly letting Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji run the decisions and make the decisions. With that said, throughout his time as owner, Woody has been somebody that offers his suggestions and throws his things out there. And I know this from talking to previous Jets coaches, that they would be in the building, and whether it was a player to target or somebody to draft, Woody would make his opinion be known, and then it was on the coaches to either say, yeah, let's go through with that, or yeah, let's not go through with that. When it comes to somebody like Jon Gruden and that star power, I would assume that Woody in some way, shape, or form contributed to that conversation. Whether he was the resounding voice and saying, let's go try to get him, I don't know that, but I'm sure this wasn't something that was not or never came across his table whatsoever.
Yeah, but doesn't this feel like it would be a threat to Aaron Glenn's job security if Jon Gruden is on the staff?
I don't foresee Jon Gruden working underneath anybody. I mean, that's
true. But I'm just saying, if he's on the staff, isn't it like, all right, Aaron, you're not doing a good enough job. You're 1-5 to start the season. You're fired. Here's the
recipe for
right
disaster.
Here. Right, it's a recipe for disaster.
It's a recipe for disaster because you're right. As soon as the Jets start the season 0-2, it's going to be get Jon in there, get Jon in there, get Jon in there. It never would have worked. Now, I think and shout out to Zach Rosenblatt for breaking the story and getting that tidbit and putting it out there, but the damning part of it was that Jon was just like, yeah, I'm good, guys. I want no interest in that. That's like the pile on here for the Jets, is that they're going through it. And Evan, you're obviously a diehard fan here. I've covered the team for a really long time. I mean, I don't go back as far as you do with fanhood. My coverage starts 2014. But I can't totally recall this team getting dragged to the degree that they are being dragged. And I think if you look at it just from this offseason, like, it's nothing so crazy or asinine that we haven't seen from this team before. I think it's just the pile on over the last 15 years of like, oh my goodness, here we go again. It just keeps piling on.
It adds up. There's no doubt about it. I think what's concerning is that it feels like they don't know what the hell they're doing. So I'll ask you, with Tanner Engstrand now being out, which is not a surprise once we heard there was a demotion. We knew about Steve Wilkes for a while, but they need a whole new coaching staff. So what the hell is their plan? What are they doing? And do they know what they're doing?
They say they do. they say they do. I mean, look, I've said this when they hired Muji, when they hired Glenn, when they draft these quarterbacks to get these quarterbacks. I'm done believing it. Like we're now on seeing is believing status. I'm not. This ain't Santa Claus anymore. Like, we are. Show it to me and then I'll believe it. You know what I mean? That's where we're at with this team. But
right. I don't need tweets saying we have a plan.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you need to show it to me. I want to see that the quarterback's a franchise quarterback. I want to see you win games. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Even like, that's one of the things where it's like you're slamming your head against the wall at times. Last year with Aaron Glenn at these press conferences where he's like, we've got a plan. Well, dude, like, the plan doesn't look very good at the moment. I'm glad that like things look good behind scenes, but that doesn't win football games. That's not how you win football games. Show me it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. Now, what I can tell you from talking to multiple sources around the NFL, and you can fill in the blanks and connect the dots how you want. And this is tied to the offensive coordinator search. This is tied, or the offensive consultant search, which is now a coordinator search, the defensive search. When the season ended for the Jets, they told all of their offensive and defensive staff that if they wanted to explore other opportunities, they could. So what that means, and Tiki can speak to this so much more, is like they weren't going to deny lateral moves. So if you were a defensive line coach who had another opportunity to be a defensive line coach, they were probably going to accept it. Like, there were very few people that were going to be like, we are not letting you out of the building. They were going to allow them to explore other opportunities. From talking to many of the coaches on staff and some of them who were let go, over the next month, they were never given the indication that their jobs were at risk or that they were going to get fired. So when they were ultimately fired earlier, what was it, last week at this point? Because I feel like we're going in dog years right now.
Right.
Like, when they were let go, I was told that they, quote, were caught off guard. And that is from the people who were let go, that they were operating as business as usual. They were not given any reasoning that they were going to be let go. They were caught off guard by the move. They were going to let go early in the season, 5 months before, whatever. When the Jets were originally having the defensive coordinator search, which is the vacancy that we all knew existed, the conversations that Aaron Glenn was having with candidates, and I talked to several candidates who interviewed for this job, not just one, it was that this was going to be a traditional defensive coordinator opening. Now, there were many big-name defensive coordinators that they were going out there trying to get, and some of those people said, no, I want nothing to do with this job. And I'm sorry if I'm being long-winded with this, but like they said, we have no interest in this job. We're not going to get it. Jim Leonard took the interview. Wink Martindale took the interview. They took the interview, and they had conversations with Aaron Glenn. In Martindale's case, having this conversation dating all the way back to December, believing that this was going to be their defense. Martindale was the very big front runner for this job. So much so that when he took that interview in person on Saturday and braved the storm to get here, the expectation that this was I dotting, T crossing, roll out the red carpet, where's my office, where's the cafeteria, let's get to work. When he showed up, he found out that Aaron Glenn now intended on calling plays, and Aaron Glenn had a desire to call plays. That was not going to work with Wink Martindale, obviously, and that's when things started to fall apart. Now, again, I've talked to many other candidates who were interviewed for this job. The Jets talked to 9 people, although only one of the guy they just hired, Brian Duker, they interviewed virtually, not in person. Many of the other people from that initial 8 who I touched base with were never given an indication that Glenn was going to call the plays. Like, it was always like it's going to be a normal defensive coordinator opening. That changed over the last 10 days or so, that Glenn now wants to call it. So from when Wink interviewed on Saturday to, I would say, Monday or Tuesday, I got wind from sources that while Wink wasn't totally out of it yet, the expectation was that the Jets were going to go with a lesser-known defensive coordinator with Glenn calling the plays, which is what they ended up settling on with Duker.
Yeah. We're talking to Connor Hughes. Why did it change? What made Aaron Glenn change his mind?
I've heard conflicting things that I can't I don't want to know. I'm sorry. I don't want to say it here and then have there's 2 sides of this that I've heard both, and one of them's true, one of them's not. I don't want to pick the wrong one.
Yeah, we speculate that it's simply he's on the hot seat. If I'm going to lose my job, I'm going to lose it being in control of at least what I have an expertise in, which is on the defensive side of the ball. But it's not the bigger issue for me, Connor, is that it is almost February. We are a month and 12 days away from legal tampering and free agency. Then you got to have the draft, and all these things need to be in place. Coaching staff, etc., because they filed Charles London as well, one of those that you mentioned. There's no quarterback. There's no quarterback coach. There's no offensive coordinator. There's no defensive coordinator, even though there is, but he's really de facto because you're calling the defense. This feels like a cluster, and time is not their friend right now. How do they get this thing coalesced in the next couple of days? Because that's what it feels like needs to happen.
Well, from the defense, they have their defense coordinator now. From the offensive coordinator perspective, their original plan, Tiki, was it was going to. They didn't want to let Tanner Engstrand go. This is again I don't know how they ever thought this was going to work, but they didn't want to let Tanner Engstrand go. The plan was just to demote him and strip him of play calling. It honestly was kind of eerily reminiscent of the Giants when Brian Dable took back play calling from Mike Kafka and basically shoved him in a broom closet. And that's what they were going to do, is that they were going to keep him as the quote-unquote offensive coordinator. Then they were going to go add a veteran mind to essentially be the offensive coordinator. I know from Aaron Glenn's conversation with Frank Wright, he told him he's looking for a, quote, head coach of the offense because he was going to be more involved on the defensive side of things. That's what Aaron Glenn was looking for. So the plan was to keep Tanner, but then bring in somebody like Frank Wright, and you're going to call the plays, and you're going to have personnel control, and you're going to get us our players and the coaches and all that stuff. That's how it's going to work, and we're going to move forward with this. The problem with now firing Tanner Engstrand is that you now have to go through the Rooney Rule. Now, I don't totally know if the Jets are going to be able to skate by that by essentially hiring an offensive coordinator but not calling him an offensive coordinator. I think they probably would have gotten some NFL trouble for that. But at least now, they're going to have to go interview 2 minority candidates. They're going to have to do that before they actually hire anyone. Now, from talking to everybody I've talked to, it's the Frank Wright thing sounds like it's getting done. They've already talked contract specifics. This is going to be happening. In fact, I talked to an assistant coach who has already talked to Frank about potentially joining his staff. So it's progressing to that point. Right. I'd be surprised if it doesn't get done. But as far as when it's announced, they have to now go through the process of interviewing minority candidates and then eventually landing on a Frank Wright or whatever they decide to do.
Interesting. So the Frank Reich thing, like you said, that's the likeliest scenario with who's going to be the head coach of the offense at this point.
Dude, things can change though, man. We just saw with Wink. That was done. I talked to somebody who was going to be on his staff who told me that Wink was saying, dude, pack your bags, start picking out places to live. This is where this is going to happen. And then it obviously fell apart.
Why? It's such a weird question to ask, but I'll ask it anyway. The Jets feel so toxic. It feels like no one would really want to work here. Is Frank Reich's relationship with Aaron Glenn? Is it Frank Reich wanting to be closer to his buddy Boomer? Why do you think Frank wants this job?
I'll tell you, Boomer jumped up quite a few pegs on my power rankings. We're a lot of talk about the Hall of Fame right now. When I get my vote, he's the one I'm making my fight for at the moment. Look, I think with Frank, somebody close to him was actually talking from conversation. He was very close to retirement. Frank was basically I'm going to ride this. He was the interim head coach 2 years ago. I think a consultant last year for Stanford. It sounded like he was about done. This was an opportunity to be hey, come call plays. You know me. You're from the area. they're going to compensate him pretty well. Like, I mean, the guy's going to get $4 or $5 million a year to do this job. Like, it's not going to be, it's a pretty nice chunk of change, and coaching contracts are guaranteed. So I think it just became an opportunity that was intriguing to him. Like with Wink Martindale, like who else? Like Jim Leonard wasn't taking this job. Like those big name defensive coordinators I'm talking about that were going to decline the openings, like that were never going to consider this. The guys who had other options were going to take those other options. But Wink didn't really have anything else. Frank was going to be retired, so he can come and take this opportunity. I think that's probably what you're going to see from these. The real question I have, guys, is if this season goes the way that it looks like it might go, and the Jets do decide to reset, it's not like it's not like no one's going to take this job, but I don't know who's going to love the opportunity next year if these vacancies are open because, like, I mean, again, I don't remember them being dragged like this.
Yeah,
like, this is a public drag.
Yeah, I hear you talking, and I know what you're saying about Frank Reich. But if you're halfway to retirement, you're retired. And so, how are you, as a fan, or even an organization, optimistic about that? You know what I mean, Connor? It's like,
I don't know, man. Here's the thing: is like. Right now, it looks. I will say this about the Jets, and I'll spin this one in a green light for them. Is that right now it looks pretty bad, and right now they are being dragged, and they're being mocked, and they're being made fun of. I mean, I was talking to somebody like the text messages that I have in my phone right now from the people that I've had a chance to get to know around the league, whether it's agents, coaches, front office people. The way that they're talking about the Jets right now is bad. Like they are being really, really made fun of league wide.
Right.
If anybody is built to deal with that because he truly does not give a you-know-what about the public narrative and what people are saying, it's Aaron Glenn. Like he doesn't care what the media writes. He doesn't care what the media says. He doesn't care what other people write. He doesn't care what other people say. He has his inner circle of who he believes in. It's as bad as I think it's going to be right now. From my understanding, Woody Johnson, the tight budget that they had the last couple of years for free agent spending and things like that, that's over. They're willing to spend in free agency. They have all these first-round picks and draft picks. So it's going to be easy to win people back once they start adding players and spending money and drafting guys. Like the optimism will return. Right now, it's almost like you just got to grab the rails and hold on because these are some pretty rocky water. Right?
It's as rocky as I've ever seen it. You're dead on. We're talking to Connor Hughes. Now, to bring this back a little bit to Jon Gruden, has anyone from your understanding, any organization, reached out to Jon with any kind of interest since his exile?
I don't know that. So honestly, I got to shout out Zach because I have no connection to Jon Gruden. I don't. So like when he broke that one, I was like, damn, Zach, like good scoop. Like that was a juicy one. And then of course, like it's gone mega viral because you got everybody at Barstool retweeting it. So, but I wish I could answer that. I'm unfortunately the wrong person to ask. I don't have the Jon. I'd hit up Portnoy and ask him. He would know, or apparently Zach. Yeah.
Well, because my assumption is.
I just wrote Rondé. We'll see what he says.
Right.
There you go. There you go.
My assumption is Jon is not, he's toxic. Like he didn't have any job interviews and there were 10 openings and that it would take a uniquely desperate organization to hire him. And the fact that, and we go back to the beginning of this.
He has the lawsuit against the league still, right? Doesn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. But the Jets had a willingness to at least hire him, right? As a coordinator, right? So I grow back to next year and say, if things go as badly as we all expect, they are the uniquely desperate team to say, screw the lawsuit. We need somebody. He has won before. Let's bring him in, which is why I think that when we talk about what this organization does a year from now, if things go as badly as we think, I kind of think it'll be Jon Gruden. At least he'll be offered it because no one else is offering him anything. And the Jets are uniquely desperate enough to be the team to say, you know what? We'll take you.
I will say that the way that now Jon can go on any of his platforms now and dampen some of the negativity that's surrounding him turning the Jets down, because that's the gut punch, is that it's not that you offered it to Jon. Like that's fine. Like you explored it, you looked into it. It's that like Jon said, no, I'm not in. And offered might be too strong of a word, but like you had the discussions and Jon said, I am not interested in that. Like that seems like just God, the guy who's been crying to get back into the league and crying to get back to coaching. He doesn't want anything to do with us. Like that's embarrassing. And Woody's not. I don't. Again, this is just me talking. This isn't reporting at all. But I could totally see Woody being like, no. You poo-pooed on us a year ago and made us look bad. I'm not returning this to now offer you the head coaching job. But I think, I don't know, man. Like it's a topic worth monitoring. I feel like every hour something's happening with this team right now. So like, who knows? Like I did not see. When I was like getting my pajamas on, ready to go to bed last night, or actually watch a couple of shows on Netflix, like I wasn't thinking that a Jon Gruden scoop on the Jets was going to break. So like every time you think you've seen it all, you truly haven't.
Right.
It is crazy.
Yeah. Tell me the confidence that Aaron Glenn is the coach at the end of 2026.
Dude, I mean, I'm glad you're giving me till the end of 2026. Like, I thought you were going to give me like Halloween. Like, I don't know if I like.
That answers it then.
Yeah, like, look, I will say, like, he has a substantial contract, and there's a lot there. Look, there's not a lot that you can hang your hat on as reasons to believe that this is going to work. Like, there's no player development, there's no improvements. The entire staff has been gutted. The draft picks don't look all that like. There's a lot to be like, dude, this is a disaster. I mean, we're trending towards. Adam Gase has long been the name that you've associated with the Jets and been like, how could it ever be that bad? Like, we're trending towards a point where, no, this is worse. Yeah. Like, that's where we're going to. Because the Jets didn't win games with Adam Gase, but they weren't like this. Like, these headlines weren't there. They were just quietly bad. Like, this is bad. I think the fact that he is a borderline franchise legend plays a lot of role. I think the fact that he chose the Jets and wanted the Jets played a role. I think his previously good relationship with Woody Johnson plays a role. And historically, Woody doesn't fire people in season, and I think he'd like to see this through and show some stability. But guys, if the Jets go out there and win 3 games next year and their schedule is brutal, I don't know how you give them a third year. I don't, especially if this negativity just flows into it. Like, Brian Costello had a great tweet where he said, like, the Jets always win the offseason and it feels like they're down 21-0 already.
No,
like,
right.
So it's like true. Like, it's a very, this is usually, and it's, I said this on SNY actually, like, we're doing the digital show. We brought it back for the offseason. We're doing it all throughout the year. And I joked with our producers, Sam Candle and Jeff Goldman. I was saying, guys, like, this is when the hype is. Like, you want to talk about views and clicks and, like, monetization. Like, this is it. Like, this is when everyone loves the Jets. They sign guys. They draft guys. This is the hype. And now it's like, man, even this is bad. So, like, it's a unique spot right now.
You are right. Now, on the other side of things, there's optimism around the Giants, rightfully so. We got the news of Todd Monken getting the Cleveland job.
Yeah.
Good for him. Where does that leave the Giants right now and John Harbaugh in terms of the offensive coordinator position?
They were really confident in that one. And I got to give some credit to the Browns because they kept that truly under wraps. I mean, the Giants were uber confident that Monken was going to be their dude. Like, they were very, very confident in that happening up till 2 days, 48 hours before they announced that today, when they announced that Monken's going to get the job. I saw Davis Webb is somebody they asked to interview. I think that's a really intriguing one. I think the one thing I would fall back on, and this is, it's, like I said, just about with the Jets, like, you got to show it now before you believe it. With John Harbaugh, you can give him the grace period of just trust he's going to make the right move. Like, that was one of the best things that he did in Baltimore, was it seemed like they always tended to find the good offensive coordinator, the good defensive coordinator, the good special teams coordinator. Like, he always found a way to really make a good, decent staff. Yeah, they missed out on Monken. That's the guy they wanted. But now when they pivot to somebody else, I think you can have a little bit of blind faith that it's probably going to be the right move for him. And honestly, I wish I could give you guys names. I have about 4 text messages out to people right now asking what they've heard. So I'm trying to do that as we speak.
We were talking about Matt Nagy. There's no long. He wants to call plays. I know his reputation from his head coaching stint has been really negative, but I mean, he's had success even though he doesn't call plays in Kansas City.
Yeah,
so
I get.
There's names out there.
Yes. There's definitely names. And again, like, you can find the quarterback's coach, the passing game coordinator. Like, there's a number of things that you can do to go find some people. And the draw to coach in New York, the draw to coach with Harbaugh, Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, like, there's draws for why you would want this offensive coordinator opening. In fact, I talked to one offensive coordinator for another team, and he talked specifically about the Giants opening, and he said he'd kill for it. Like, again, he's not going to leave his team. They're not going to let him go for a lateral move, but there's legitimate reasons to want to coach there, especially because if the Giants start winning some games, you know that with Jackson Dart, you've got the quarterback, you start winning some games, you're going to be a head coach in short order. Like, the Giants are an opportunity as an offensive coordinator to get a head coaching job pretty soon.
The Jets and Giants could not be more different right now.
Right.
I mean, just even the tone of this, they're on different planets. But
well, dude, I get that. Like, I got crap on social media. Like, I get it's a unique spot because I have Jets and Giant fans, and right now it's like a war in the mentions for them. They're like, why don't you talk about the Jets the same as the Giants? And I'm like, dude, the Giants just got Harbaugh. They've got their quarterback. They've got hype. They've got money. They got there's good feels with them at the moment. With the Jets, it's like, You know what could have changed is if Dante Moore was in the draft, because you could be like, yeah, he's a developmental project, but at least the quarterback's there. They don't even have the quarterback in the draft you can circle or pinpoint to.
Is there
at least not this year. Maybe next year they do.
But is there any chance, and you can just put me out of my misery because I'm holding out hope. Is there any chance that based on who the Raiders hire, they say to themselves, you know what? We're not ready. Let's trade back. We can get a boatload of picks from the Jets. Let's push on Mendoza. We'll wait till next year. Is there any possibility of that happening?
I don't think so. I'll tell you what, where I thought there was when there was a report. This wasn't me report. Somebody reported Brian Flores, Brian Dable as a potential pairing with the Raiders. Knowing Dable, I was like, oh God, that's not going to work with Mendoza. Their two personalities, the way that Dable's that, just kind of crazy on the sideline, throwing tablets, mother effing everybody. No way that was going to work with Mendoza. No way. So I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe that's an opportunity for Moore to go 1, and then Mendoza gets the Jets at 2. But now, no, I think it's pretty locked in there. I mean, there was a clip from that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, wait, is that going to work in Tennessee with Cam Ward?
I do. Well, you know what, Tiki, that's the funny thing is they loved him with the Giants. Remember that at the Combine, they were trying to move hell and high water to go up there for number 1. They wanted Cam Ward. That was their guy. And then it just, Tennessee was we're not trading.
You're just saying Fernando Mendoza's personality is very...
I cannot see that with Dable. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'll hit up Dable actually after this, or actually I'll probably see him in Tennessee because the Jets play the Titans. I got to ask him if that would have worked because I just don't see it. Dart, Josh Allen, they all have a certain mentality.
Edge. Right, there's an edge to them.
Yeah, I don't see that. I think Mendoza could be a hell of a player.
They get MF'd and they're like, all right, let's go then.
Mendoza's the gosh darn it. I don't know how that's working.
Well said. Thank you, Connor. We always appreciate it. Great stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
See you, Connor.
The great Connor Hughes of SNY.
That's funny.
One of the football note, we mentioned Todd Monken's getting the Cleveland job. Tom Pelissero reported that after the Browns informed Jim Schwartz this morning that they were passing on him, he was visibly upset, said goodbyes to the building, and told other coaches he's not coming back.
Wow.
Schwartz is under contract, and Cleveland wants to retain him. So they want him back, but I don't know if he wants to come back.
I'm sure Cleveland will handle this well.
Yeah, I'm sure this will go well. But hey, the Jets and Giants both have the DC jobs filled. So
wait, so what does that mean? That means that he wants to quit and leave?
Yeah, he's done.
Wants to walk out of his contract.
Yeah,
but he can't because they have the contract, right?
They have the rights to him as a DC.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I guess the team could trade for him.
I was going to say, are we trading for Jim Schwartz now?
Well, you're not. You hired your
not
DC.
us. I mean, I'm just saying anybody.
Yeah.
Any team that wants Jim Schwartz now has to trade for him?
I guess so.
Oh, that's cold blood if the Browns do that.
They should let him walk
100%.
They passed on him for the job. It's fine. Let him go away and pick another job. That's the bottom line. Sean's got a Cinco list coming up. We'll get back to your calls at 888-808-1019, and we'll find out why one of the great baseball writers really hates Sherman and Morash. Evan and Tiki here on The Fan.
Those of us living in New Jersey got hit with a 20% electric rate increase. If your current heating system is over 15 years old, it's time for a new high-efficiency Carrier system. There's only one company to call for a new one. My friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts for over 38 years. Older systems waste gas, so get yours checked now and save money with Edison Heating and Cooling. Contact them at edisonhvac.com. That's edisonhvac.com.
This portion of the program was sponsored by DAZN.
Two global superstars in their prime square off at Madison Square Garden.
Here we go.
Teofimo, the Brooklyn-born king of 140, looks to retain his world title as Shakur steps up to become a 4-division world champion. Don't miss Lopez versus Stevenson, January 31st. Watch only on DAZN.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store, and they'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into a paper airplane headed to see you never. AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, their best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So just bring your bill to your local Verizon store and they'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on root metrics, root score report 1/8/2025. Results may vary. Must provide a postpaid customer mobile bill within the past 45 days and the name of the person redeeming the bill. Additional terms apply.
MSC Cruises feel so stylish and European. Let's espresso and gelato.
Espresso and gelato? Those aren't verbs.
Yeah, on MSC Cruises they are.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm into the American stuff. Let's coffee and soft serve.
Sounds like a plan. Maybe later we can chaise lounge and espadrille?
I think you mean pool chair and flip-flop.
Cruise from $199 plus get up to $500 onboard credit and kids sail free. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Just one drive at a Mercedes-Benz and you'll understand why it's a gift that keeps on giving. The Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration lives on at Mercedes-Benz of Edison with more opportunities to drive home luxury. Experience comfort and performance in a new GLC or GLE SUV equipped with 4MATIC all-wheel drive to handle whatever the road or the weather brings. With over 500 vehicles to choose from, there's still time to experience the love during the extended Holiday Love Celebration at Mercedes-Benz of Edison.
This isn't just a game, it's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Be there at Barclays Center on February 15th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for your tickets to the 100-year tour.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
History's masterpieces wouldn't be the same without their most notable accents. Neither would the Kia Sportage without its multiple drive modes. The Kia Sorento without its expansive 12.3-inch panoramic display. Or the Kia Telluride without its 3 rows of spacious seating. The Kia SUVs. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win. So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then.
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
Question: what business couldn't use extra income? Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Right now, Amazon Hub Delivery is looking to partner with ambitious New York businesses to become Amazon Hub partners. You and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area when it's convenient for you. With each package delivered, your business gets paid. Sign up at Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
The biggest party of the year is here. Zac Brown Band Love and Fear Tour, presented by Margaritaville at Sea, August 27th and 28th, Forest Hill Stadium. Zac Brown Band with special guest Grace Potter. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at AXS.com. Don't miss Zac Brown Band Love and Fear live.
Refresh your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Reimagine your bathroom with up to 40% off select faucets during our Bath Savings event. Need it today? Order by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Shop for your bathroom refresh at Lowe's. We help, you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Same-day delivery on eligible in-stock items, subject to availability. Fees vary. Visit Lowes.com/same-day delivery for full terms.
If you are an athletic supporter, call now. 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Paramount Plus to stream every NFL on CBS playoff game.
Teams are not cursed. They're run by incompetent fools. I have said that for many years. The New York Jets are run by an incompetent fool of an owner. And so are the Cleveland Browns. Because their coaching search was so bizarre. Like, they would tell candidates, you have to keep Jim Schwartz. Now they hire someone who probably was more than willing to keep Jim Schwartz, and Jim Schwartz has now told the Browns, according to Diana Rossini and Tom Pelissero, go screw.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here as a DC. And so it makes you look at their coaching search and say, what the hell were they doing? One hand had no idea what the other hand was doing. You're telling candidates you must keep a DC, and that DC didn't want to stay as DC.
Yeah, and you also drug him along as a potential head coaching candidate while interviewing everybody else, probably positioning it as we have to go through the process, the Rudy Rule, et cetera, everything else, and then you say, we're going to hire Todd Monken instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just that's cold-blooded.
They're fools, just like the Jets are fools. So when we talk about how the Jets have been bad for so long and how the Browns are bad for so long, it's not a coincidence. It's not something in the water. It's not a curse. It's not a hex. It's when you're run by fools, you are a foolish organization. And so it does make me feel like a centimeter better that as much as the Jets are the LOL Jets, and most of it is well-deserved, they're the Browns. And they're not that far off.
And both will have head coaching vacancies next year.
That's not fair to Todd Monken.
It's not fair. By the way, not fair to him. But would it shock you at all? They're already going to mess up this DC part of this. That was the strength of the team.
It would not shock anybody.
No.
That's for sure.
Well, you already have the DPOY, so.
That's true. And a Pro Bowl quarterback.
And
They do.
I thought you were going to say cornerback.
They have a Pro Bowl quarterback named Shedeur Sanders.
The problem with Shedeur Sanders, just as a quick aside, no hating on him because he was bad. I mean, statistically one of the worst quarterbacks in the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's a Pro Bowler means that the Pro Bowl is now invalid as a measure of NFL success.
Completely.
It doesn't mean anything anymore.
You
might as well get rid of it.
Well, you may as well get rid of it. And I think in fairness, we can only refer to Pro Bowl berths in like a pre-2015 format.
100%.
Because then it did matter, and it doesn't anymore. They've made that clear. But I use this with your friends if you're listening, because I did this briefly yesterday. I'm not going to bore it with you again. It's not about comparing Shedeur Sanders to other clear Pro Bowl candidates. It's about comparing him to Justin Fields. Justin Fields had better statistics than Shedeur Sanders. And Justin Fields was told by the owner he doesn't know how to throw a ball, got benched, then there was a fake injury, and the Jets are about to take a huge cap hit to get rid of him.
Right.
That guy, statistically, had better numbers than Shedeur Sanders. We'll get to some baseball in a few minutes, including why Joel Sherman hates Sherman and Morash. But before that, Sean's about to feed us a goodie.
Sherman and Morash in the booth. Somebody hide the castle. Optics flying, phones ringing, Evans yelling. No! Tiki's laughing, chaos cracking, nobody's in control. It's Cinco de Roncho. Bam! Crunch! Let's go!
All right, Cinco de Luncho is brought to you by Helix Wireless, connecting everything everywhere. I want everybody to keep in mind when I tell you this list that I made this list on another delayed Long Island Railroad trade this morning before I ever spoke to Evan Roberts about what the show lead was going to be and what the topic was going to be. So just have that in the back of your mind. I'm here to give you the top 5 most likely Jets head coaches in week 1 of 2027.
Here we go! Number 5.
Brian Daboll has Cam Ward humming this year, comes back home to dunk on Pat Leonard.
It's not crazy.
No, it isn't at all.
He's going to be a coaching candidate, we presume, next year.
It's assuming he has a good season with Cam Ward.
And I think he will.
I think he will. I watched a little Cam Ward last night.
I'm not sure they're going to win a lot of games, but if Cam Ward is humming and the offense is humming, that's enough for him to be a candidate again.
Agreed.
No doubt.
Number 4.
Matt Burke, Texans defensive coordinator. Another year like last year, he'll be a hotter name, and the Jets love them some DCs.
Great point. I mean, dude, it's what they do.
Right.
First time defensive coordinating head coaches. That's what we do.
All right.
I mean, the
Number
Giants,
3.
The Giants too until recently.
That's true.
I mean, just offense.
Yeah, it was the opposite.
Right.
Number 3 most likely head coach, Jim Leonard, the Bills DC. Maybe the Jets convince him a year earlier than he's ready to be a head coach, and he jumps to come home with the Jets
Connor
after
made
all.
it seem like that was no shot.
Again, this list was made before we spoke to Connor Hughes.
No, he said becoming the defensive coordinator. Oh, you mean becoming the head coach too?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well, that's scarred.
Number 2.
I'm putting a name out there that seems like he might be sitting out a cycle, unless he comes to the Giants as the OC. Cliff Kingsbury. Hasn't been a great offseason for him. He might be the type of former coach that's desperate enough to say yes if the Jets come calling him.
That's an interesting one.
That's
By
a
the way,
very
has he
interesting
not
one.
even got OC interviews?
I'd have to relook. I looked him up before I did this list. I'm like, yeah, he didn't get an OC job anywhere.
No.
I haven't even heard his name with
I
interviews,
haven't heard
though.
his name one time.
And remember, it felt like...
Other than when he left.
And it felt like Dan Quinn didn't want him to leave. That was from Upper, like Peters and company in Washington.
All right, so I got a few things. He interviewed for the Titan job.
Okay.
And he's also interviewed, believe it or not, for 2 head coaching jobs. He interviewed for the Raven head coaching job. So he had a couple of head coaching interviews, and he interviewed for the Tennessee job.
Again, think of the kind of guy that would have to take the Jet job, right? That's where I'm putting it.
No, I think he's fine. By the way, I have no quibbles with your list.
Okay.
I'm just curious who number 1 is.
Number 1.
Jon Gruden. And I wrote this as the caption. They made a call about him as an OC. They don't care about lawsuits and emails. Imagine him saying no to the only opportunity he'll get next year with a top quarterback pick.
That is assuming he wants the opportunity.
Of course.
So you're right about that, and we have no idea what's on John's mind, and I'll be interested to see if he speaks publicly at Barstool. But what we do know, and this is what Sean said, and it's what I said at the top of the show because you can't deny it, the Jets are the first team we know of willing to hire Jon Gruden despite the baggage.
That you know of.
That we know of.
There's probably have been others. And I promise you Jon Gruden is done coaching because he would have taken it.
Hold on a second. I'm starting to figure you out the way Gio figures Boomer out. Sometimes Boomer says stuff and Gio will be like, you know what? You know something. Do you know something, Tiki?
I just know that he didn't want this job. And I don't think he wants a job.
Yeah, you were texting with Rondé, weren't you?
Rondé, who's that?
So Jon Gruden's done?
I don't know if he's
Is that
done.
what you're getting at?
It would have to be the perfect opportunity, but I think he's going to come out today and say something like, I'm very content doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I get that when your offer is a coordinating job in the worst organization in sports.
Yes.
I wonder if it's different if Woody Johnson comes hat in hand and says, here are the keys.
Yeah. Well,
with the number 1 pick. Here are the keys. And by the way, number 1
you
pick.
also have to consider what the organization. Now, if it's pick another organization if it's Baltimore, it's probably a different thought.
But it's not going to be.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm saying. I don't think Jon Gruden's coaching.
And that is entirely possible that Jon Gruden says, I got a good thing going up Barstool. Yeah. I am not going to sully my career by going to a crappy organization, even if that's the only organization offering me a job.
Right.
If his priority isn't just getting back into coaching, by the way, I respect that. All I know, here's what I know, and no one can deny it. The Jets are the first team we know of, that was willing to hire him with the baggage. We have had 0 reports over the last few years of a team being willing to do it.
Right.
The Jets are. Now, does that mean Jon Gruden says yes? You're saying probably not. Okay.
No.
Okay.
It means it probably just wasn't reported. That's all it means.
Maybe. And that's why I keep saying publicly reported. Because I think that there are teams that would be shamed for reaching out to Jon Gruden.
Yeah, there would be.
What'd you whisper to Sean?
I can't tell you.
None of your business.
You're not a Giant. You're not a Giant fan.
What is that? What?
You're not a Giant fan, so it doesn't matter.
I love hearing about the Giants.
This wasn't about the Giants, though.
He's got secret Gruden stuff he's not telling us.
I'll give you a secret. There's already a Jim Schwartz suitor lined up that Jim Schwartz knows about.
Really?
Hey, where's he going?
49ers.
Ah.
That according to Tom Pelissaro.
To replace Saleh?
That makes perfect sense.
Of course. Why would he stay in Cleveland under Todd Monken? That's a great gig.
He obviously has to get out of the Cleveland deal, but that seems to be where
they should let him go because they did him dirty.
They know, absolutely. Now, real quick, and we'll get back to your phone calls. We appreciate you waiting. 888-808-1019. Joel Sherman, who's an excellent writer for the New York Post, he's gone viral because he went on a little bit of a rant. And I heard the rant. I had to edit it because he dropped some curse words, which I didn't know. Joel Sherman
cusses?
Yeah, recently. It's almost like he's got a new thing going on. I don't know the deal behind it, but he's cursed a lot more.
You should have left it in so I could hear the context of how you curse is interesting.
Well, you're going to hear the curses. You're going to hear beeps over.
Oh, okay. So good. Oh, good.
I'm not cutting it out.
We can't
I just
play
want
the
to
actual
know.
curse.
Sometimes people cuss and it's like you don't know how to cuss.
Okay.
It's like people who try to pull up beside you on the highway. You're
Yeah.
going, I don't know, like 10, 12 miles over the speed limit. They try to keep up. Then you go 20 and they back off. Like you don't know how to speed.
They don't know.
Please stop.
So two things. We're going to find out, A, if Joel Sherman knows how to curse, courtesy of Tiki Barber. And then we're going to find out Sean's response, because I heard his rant, and it was directed at Sherman and Morash. Like, I think what happens around here is that there's too much pride from these long-time, radio hosts or writers. They don't want to mention people by name. Like Francesa did it with the whole Clark Schmidt thing. He didn't want to bring up that Sean was the one buffoon complaining about him coming out of a no-hitter. So
yes,
Mike ripped people who said that. So Joel was ripping into people who said, Trent Grisham's going to keep them from spending. So here's Joel's rant that I believe was directly aimed at Sherman and Morash.
Most of the whiners are also people who were saying, well, they signed Grisham. That means that Hal's going to get cheap and not bring Bellinger back. Will any of those people shut the up now? They will not shut the up because they like that lane that's either stupid or they enjoy being stupid, like because they get attention.
I mean, that is so clearly Sean.
I mean, what a swarmy, smug, you know what. I mean, first of all, Joel, I'm going to speak because I wasn't the only one that said stuff like this. I'm going to speak for people. How about put down your typewriter since you're 57 years old, still doing this. Sorry, Tiki, that was the wrong age to use. And open up your ears for a second. What we said was it's going to keep the Yankees from spending and making the team better. Yeah, they brought Bellinger back. Not before he didn't want to go to Toronto, first and foremost. Secondly, have they done anything else to add to the baseball team? They have added basically one guy, Weathers, outside of the Yankee system. I know they traded from some garbage guy with a 70 ERA today.
Angel Chevelle.
Okay.
Chevelle.
Straight up swap.
Yeah.
They have not improved the infield. They have basically not improved at all the bullpen.
That's how you pronounce it.
Go
ahead.
No
Chevelle.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
We're still going to bring back Volpe, right?
Yeah.
We have no infield improvement, no bullpen improvement. In fact, we've watched bullpen guys leave.
Yep.
And all this talk about maybe the Yankees will be on Freddy Peralta. And okay, starting rotation, which I admit I wasn't high on. They haven't done much to improve that. They are running the same team back because they brought back Trent Grisham for $20 million. We were right. You were wrong. But at least you got a couple F-bombs in on some podcast nobody listens to.
Why is he?
Except for Evan.
Why is he so angry, Joel Sherman?
Because, you know what, Tiki? I'm going to...
Why is he defending the Yankees?
No. Because I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to speak. Because it's the baseball writers more than anything. And a lot of them are good people, but I'm just going to say this. The baseball writers, the old guard, let's call them, they don't understand they do more harm than good for the sport and the new age. They are so stuck in their old ways that no fan could possibly ever observe a Major League Baseball team and have opinions on it. Only them who have been in the same locker rooms for 40 years writing the same boring stories could possibly know what's going on in the inner workings. So because whoever inside the Yankees fed him that they were going to keep Bellinger just because they're signing Grisham, made him put his feet down and act like a big tough guy on a podcast. When morons, you want to use stupid, we're going to call you a moron, you missed the point. They didn't sign anybody else, and the offseason's basically over now. Did they even attempt to sign Bo Bichette and add to that? No. Could they have for that one-year opt-out without signing Grisham? Sure, they could have. So Grisham definitely prohibited them from getting the team better. You're a moron. Retire.
Nice.
Wow.
That was very...
Same guy 10 years ago asking to get paid to come on for guest spots. You're Joel Sherman, not Cal Ripken. Get lost.
I don't know about that, but...
Yes. There you go.
I know about that because I have the emails.
Oh, I think Joel's fantastic.
He might be a nice guy. Seems like a good writer, but you know what? You want to take shots, bring more than a pea shooter.
So you agree that he was taking a shot at you? You took
I don't know
that
about
as a
me.
direct.
Like, put it this way: it may not be me personally. If he was, I mean, look, you listen to WFAN. You know who I am, and that's the first I say that. But I spoke for a lot of Yankee fans who agreed, and we were right, and we still proved to be right. They haven't done anything to improve the team.
What I find really interesting about your re-attack on Joel Sherman is that this is the angriest I've heard you about the Yankees. Like, I almost think the last few months you have grown to accept Like, hey, all right, as long as we bring back Cody, we're good. Which is essentially what they've done. Not to minimize the Weathers move or even some of the bullpen arms that they've added. But, yeah, I mean, that's the move. And so it took somebody lecturing you and calling you, a bleeping bleep to get angry. But I haven't heard any Yankee anger out of you in 2 months. It's almost like this
It's been pent up. It's been pent up. Because they honestly didn't improve the team significantly. It's the same team in so many ways. Probably worse because your starting rotation is somewhat injured.
Well, you're adding Garrett Cole.
And okay. Whatever.
But here's the truth.
What?
We knew it was coming. So, and it's also been this way for a couple years now, and the owner already cried about how much money he owes New York City. So it comes to a certain point. Can you cry and scream about the same thing every single month about the New York Yankees? Or do you throw your hands up and go, I'm still a fan of the team.
Yeah.
They won a lot of games last year. I got to just hope for the best. And that's the point I'm at. But when you hear a guy like Joel Sherman try to take a victory lap that the writers were the ones that were smart and all these dopey fans and people with microphones, you guys going to step up and admit you're wrong? We weren't wrong. Because they had an allotted amount of money that they did not exceed, and Grisham took up $20 million of that. We were right. You're trying to use it as an excuse for Bellinger. We knew they would make a play on Bellinger, but they have zero left to squeeze out of the juice to improve the team.
Yeah, and by the way, they made the play on Bellinger, and it stayed the play because nobody else bested it.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was a world, luckily it didn't happen, but there was a world where they were going to lose him.
If the Phillies got Bichette and the Mets were like, we really need to add something, then what is Joel Sherman going on a microphone? Is he hiding? He's hiding.
Right.
Peekaboo. That's what he would be doing right now.
Peekaboo. All right. Good retort, Sean. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Can't wait till Joel Sherman claps and go, I don't know who this guy is. You know who I am, Joel.
Lost. He definitely will say that. Right? He will definitely. I don't know who that guy is. I haven't listened to the fans since Mike and the Mad Dog.
I know this video is going to go out. I'm wearing a stupid hat. Great.
Is it a Ranger hat?
It's a Ranger hat. They suck. They'll lose tonight. Speaking of which, this Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ Precision Cooking. Effortless results. ChefIQ.com. How about the Islanders continue to look around the local market to add for their playoff push? A day after acquiring Carson Soucy, the Isles traded for 24-year-old
He's not 24, bro.
34-year-old. Sorry, Joel Sherman would have got that right. 34-year-old forward Andre Palat from the Devils. Of course, a Stanley Cup champion with the Lightning. Palat's been disappointing in point production, but he adds plenty of playoff experience to an Islander team with hopes of a deep run.
It is odd that they've added a Ranger and an Islander in back-to-back days, and it actually begins
they wanted immediate help.
Yeah.
Minimal travel.
We don't want to wait on the travel.
Exactly.
And they do begin a back-to-back on back-to-back nights. Tonight they're at UBS against the Rangers, Islanders, and then tomorrow night they're at Madison Square Garden for Rangers Islanders.
Yeah, that was going to be in next hour's Fan Focus.
Well, that's okay. You could think of something else, all right? Only one period of time to talk hockey per day. I mean, geez, you want to spread it out.
Put it on like 4 Fan Focuses?
You're right. You know what? You're right. I'm going to get to Nets Phoenix next hour.
Don't do that either. Though it was great seeing Igor Joman almost, start a brawl.
Did he get a suspension?
No, he just pushed a guy. He just pushed out, what's his name, that clown Dylan Brooks.
But a brawl starts.
Well, you know what I mean by brawl. It wasn't really a brawl. Yeah. There's a lot of pushing and shoving.
It was a basketball brawl.
All I know is when I'm watching this game at 4 o'clock in the morning on DVR, it excited me. And so when I tweeted about it at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm sure people
Because now you think Igor Jomin is a tough guy?
Oh, yeah. I think he's got a lot of things going. I think he's got the clutch gene, as the kids like to say. I think he's got a chance to grow and be an all-star caliber player. I'm very high on Igor Jomin.
Nice. When are you trading him?
In 2032, when we still suck. Let's go to Tyler down in Vero Beach, Florida. Good afternoon, Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey, guys. I appreciate you taking the call. As a frustrated Jets fan, I really don't know what the intentions are for this year. Like, you guys are talking about Malik Willis and Teddy Bridgewater, but, then what? If they win 5-6 games, most likely they're going to bring Aaron Glenn back. The goal should be the first pick of the draft. Let's make the defense as great as possible and start Brady Cook. Guaranteed, first pick.
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
You're probably right, but just starting the season. No, I'm saying if you start Brady Cook, you're going to have the first pick of the draft.
Well, yeah.
But the hard thing is to tank from jump. That's really, really, really hard to do.
No, but also I don't think he painted a fair scenario. So I'll walk you through it again because I think he painted it, but he didn't finish the picture, if you will. If they sign Malik Willis, which is, how old is Malik? He's still 25 years old.
Yeah.
He's a kid who has not failed yet in the NFL. He just hasn't been given an opportunity. If you sign Malik Willis and you put him behind this offensive line and you give him Garrett Wilson and you bring back Breece Hall, and now you begin to build your defense with all the quality draft picks that they have, and they win 6 games, right? Is that what he said, 6 wins?
Yeah.
Don't you think we will view this team as rising? We will view this team as, wow, they're moving in the right direction. Wow, Aaron Glenn knows what he's doing. Wow, we have a quarterback. And if that's the case, isn't that just as good, if not better, than tanking, where you're just picking somebody and you're starting from the beginning? Like, if there's enough growth from the young quarterback, and the key was he said Malik Willis. He didn't say a guy who's 35 years old and starting.
Right.
He said a kid that they signed.
26, Malik Willis.
26. Wouldn't that be enough to believe in this team moving forward? Now, I think it's unlikely that all that stuff happens. But to his point, I cannot say that that's worse than getting the number 1 overall pick. Would you think that's worse than getting the number 1 overall pick?
No.
You'd have a future to build on.
No, you definitely would. But there's just so many different ways to think about where the Jets are and what they should be doing. And so I also don't necessarily trust whoever the first pick is going to be next year. Right? Arch could be the guy. But he could be the guy in name only.
Right, which is why if they use all of these picks to improve their defense for the most part, and they sign Malik Willis, and he's their quarterback, and they have success, a level of success, and that's better than tanking.
It's better than risking missing on the quarterback.
Right, because you're tanking for something that you don't even know yet.
Yes.
So that's why I can't fully get behind they're better off going 0-17. I don't know that yet. Let me see who the quarterback is. Let me see what the roster is.
I was just looking up the quarterbacks for next year because it's Arch Manning, obviously. Trinidad Chambliss is in there, and I forget the other.
Well, Trinidad's going to be this year unless he loses or wins the lawsuit.
Well,
you're thinking about the kid who went back to Oregon. I've already forgotten his name.
Dante Moore,
yeah.
sure. No, but they had Trinidad in this list. It had Trinidad Chambliss, so maybe they're assuming that he's going to win his appeal.
We'll see.
So we'll see whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it also wasn't there's this other kid that we haven't talked about yet that is going to be rising up the charts as the season goes on.
Right.
So it seems like it's a better class. It might actually not be.
Exactly. So anytime someone says you're better off tanking, just respond by saying tanking for what exactly?
Exactly.
Because you don't even know. Christine is calling from Queens. Hey, Christine.
Hi, Evan. How Tiki? How are you? Sean?
Good.
Sean, Christine wants to talk to you.
Yes. Yeah. I cannot agree with you more about the Yankees.
Thank you.
I had a call yesterday from the Yankee ticket office. Okay? And this is the only way the Yankees are going to get it. I agree with you. They did not, and I appreciate if you give me a few minutes here. They did not bank on Trent Grisham taking his $22 million. For the first time in 30 years, I'm a Yankee fan since I'm 6 years old. I'm now 74 years old. For the first time in 30 years, I am not taking my ticket. I am making a stand, okay? All right? You think that we real Yankee fans are idiots? If Hal's got a budget, well, guess what? So do I.
Wow.
And the guy asked me yesterday, what can I do to get you to take your tickets?
What'd you say?
You know what I said to him?
What'd you say?
Fire Cashman.
Wow, what a response. You have every right to do that, but here's what I'll warn you about. The Yankees are going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you, and I'm not going to sit here and defend their offseason to people because what did they do? And the answer is they didn't do much.
Nothing.
But the Yankees are a 95-win team, in my opinion. I believe that's who they are, and I'll tell you why. I think they have a chance to be better than last year, despite not having an offseason that makes it obvious. Why? I'll do it real quick. Ryan McMahon is here for a full season, okay? Austin Wells, I believe, will have a better year, and I think either Dominguez or Spencer Jones will perform. Plus, you're not starting the year force-feeding Anthony Volpe down our throats. And Garrett Cole's going to come back at some point.
Yeah.
And Cam Schlittler feels like the real deal.
And Rodon will be healthy at some point.
At some point. So I get it, and I'm not defending the offseason. These are two separate things. I think they're really good. So you have every right to say, hey, I'm not going, I have a budget and all that. But when they're in first place in August, you may reconsider. When they're playing October baseball, and I promise you they'll be playing October baseball, you may reconsider.
Right. The point is they have a shot. This is not like
they have better than a shot.
Yeah,
this
is not. Yeah, right. This is not like the Mets where you're kind of like, oh, let's hope these things come together and they work out. They're going to be in the postseason, and once you get there, especially if you have health, in particular with your starting rotation, there's no reason that the Yankees can't go back to the World Series.
No doubt. We'll get back to your calls next, 888-808-1019. And one quick thing I do want to play for Tiki. Freddy Peralta met the media yesterday, and he was asked about a contract extension. Tiki's the best at this. We will listen to his answer, and he'll tell us if he actually would sign a contract extension or not. We'll get to that coming up. It is Evan and Tiki until the Carton Show at 2 o'clock.
Back when I was playing the game, creatine was a locker room secret. Players knew about it. Trainers did too. But the fans didn't. Now, the secret is out. Creatine boosts strength, speeds up recovery, and even helps brain health. That's why I take
home of
GAT
New York
Sports.
Giants football.
That's why I take GAT Sports' new Creatine Chews. 5 grams per serving, no sugar, no shaker, no mess. Save 30% off your first bottle at gatsport.com with code Tiki30. That's GAT Sport.com, code Tiki30. GAT Sport Creatine Chews. Fuel up, compete harder.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
I'm Nick Costos with an Odyssey Sports Minute sponsored by Empower. Invest well so you can live a little at Empower.com. What an absolute disgrace that Bill Belichick will not be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame on the first ballot. Once again, the writers and electors have made it more about themselves than the players and coaches, like they did with Terrell Owens a number of years ago. A disgrace that Belichick won't be in on ballot number 1. I'm Nick Costos.
What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can test your sports IQ in real time with Robinhood Prediction Markets. It's not you against the house, it's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions all game long. You know the game, put it to use. Trade every play with Robinhood. Download the app today. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues with UFC 325 live from Australia. Catch featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski in a rematch of his epic title fight against Diego Lopez, and the always dangerous Dan Hooker throws down with dynamic finisher Benoit Saint Denis in a high-action lightweight showdown. UFC fans, pay-per-view just got knocked out. Catch UFC 325 on Saturday, January 31st, only on Paramount Plus. Stream every fight live with one subscription. Visit ParamountPlus.com/UFC to get started.
Start the day with Boomer and Gio, mornings 6 to 10 on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, an Odyssey sports station.
It's about time pros had one partner for the whole job. Why juggle 10 different suppliers when one can do it all? At the Home Depot, you'll save with pricing built for pros. You'll stay on track with job site deliveries, scheduled, next day, or same day. And you'll get every size, every finish, every job lot quantity you need. One partner for the entire job. That's how pros get more done. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
It's the last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff. The final chance to place your bets before the NFL season closes its tab. This is Super Bowl 60, by the way, and FanDuel is making sure you're in on it. If you're a new customer, bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So whether you're backing the favorite, riding with the underdog, or building one last same-game parlay, make it count. Because after the Super Bowl, the NFL season is over, and football is officially done. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com/New York to get started. We love the app around here. It is safe and secure, and when you win, you get paid instantly. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of WFAN.
21 and over and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you help with the gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
9.
Hi, it's Sal Licata here for CertaPro Painters. You know, my home is a very happy place, especially when my wife is satisfied. And while that's not an easy thing for me to achieve, my friends at CertaPro Painters had no such problems. Big jobs, small jobs, the good folks at CertaPro Painters are at your service. If you've been putting off a painting project, give them a call at 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with a C, and you'll see exactly what I mean. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4094. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-4094. That's 800-575-4094.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
The home of Super Bowl 60 on Westwood 1 is WFAN.
I said something on the radio as a joke about an hour ago. It is now real. Sometimes I joke, and then it happens. So I would like to read a tweet from a reporter that Sean really trusts. His name is Art Stapleton. I know, Sean, you're a big Art Stapleton guy.
Art is my guy.
Okay. According to Art Stapleton, another name for the Giants OC I would put into the mix is Tanner Engstrand, fired yesterday as Jets OC. And as Art writes, started his career with Jim Harbaugh at San Diego and reunited at Michigan. Also spent time with Ben Johnson in Detroit. Got screwed by quarterback Sitch with Jets. Well, first, Art, don't need your Jets opinion mixed in there. I'm just kidding. But he is tying Tanner Engstrand as a candidate. And I do recall earlier on in the show when we found out the news that Todd Monken is getting the Cleveland Browns head coaching job and that will not be the Giants OC. I brought his name up and you guys flippantly threw it away.
He didn't do a good job last year.
Who are we talking about?
Tanner Engstrand.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did.
Right.
Yeah.
He did not do a good job.
But as Art Stapleton points out, he got screwed by the Jets quarterback Sitch.
Of course he did, because you got handed Justin Fields and said, go make chicken salad out of you know what.
Now he's got Jackson Dart.
And now he's got Jackson Dart. So maybe it's a better opportunity, but it's not one that I love. Again, as we say with all of these questions, I think I'm going to trust John Harbaugh. But what he put on tape, it wasn't him, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
As a first-time offensive coordinator was not inspiring.
What would be your opening to either One Giant Step or Talking Giants with the news that Tanner Engstrand would be the new OC of the Giants?
I would comb through and find every positive about Garrett Wilson missing games, about how everything that happens to the Jets is garbage, point to Robert Saleh's renaissance the moment he left the Jets and say this is the same here and you have to trust Harbaugh.
Yeah, I'll be honest
that
with
would
you.
be the only way to go.
Of course.
Right.
Well, I can't
You have to
point
assume
to the
that
points.
what you just saw was the anomaly.
Yeah.
And I would tell you right now, as much as I was joking, I don't want that to happen because I know he'd go there and be competent.
Mm-hmm.
And it would just be another log on the fire of how pathetic the New York Jets are.
Right.
So keep it in mind. He is available, and the Giants have a fresh OC search since, according to Connor Hughes, who joined us at 12, you can rewind on the Odyssey app, they thought it would be Todd Monken. They didn't realize he was going to get this Cleveland Brown job, and he did. I'll play the Freddy Peralta audio, and you can tell us if he's going to extend with the Mets, yes or no, coming up in about 10 minutes. But let's get to your calls, 888-808-1019. A lot on the table, including this new feud between Joel Sherman and Sean Morash. Let's go to Jim in Johnson City, Tennessee. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, fellas, what's going on?
All's well.
What's up?
You guys are really going after the Riders today. So you guys played that little clip of Steve Summers.
Yes.
In case anybody didn't hear it, you can go back to 11:45 on the Odyssey app and rewind it and listen.
There you go.
Thank you. Yes.
And then Sean went on his rant about Sherman. Now I recall specifically, and here's a job for you, Evan. I recall specifically Keith McPherson getting into a fight with Heyman back last baseball season.
Yes.
It was probably 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and Heyman about hung up. I think he did hang up.
Yes,
on.
no,
he did. He ultimately did.
Yeah, so there's another little Odyssey rewind you can go check for or play that clip and add it to your Trevor trove of beating up writers.
So are you on Sean's side or are you on Joel's side? I mean, Joel's a hell of a writer.
No, Sean is my man, buddy.
How about that? He's on your side.
He got your back.
I love that. I'm big in Tennessee.
I'm not even sure I'm on your side. Joel Sherman's awesome, man.
You're not on my side?
I'm debating it.
You're not on my side?
No, I'm
Be very careful right now, Evan.
I'm on your side.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'm on your side. Yeah, the clip he's referring to with Keith and John.
Oh, this was after.
This was a year ago.
The Soto stuff.
I don't remember if it was. No, it was before the Soto stuff. It was right before he signed.
It was during the Soto stuff.
It was during the search. And Keith said to John multiple times, an implication that a lot of us have said, that basically he works for Scott Boras.
Yeah, he's on the payroll.
And it came across to John not as a joke. He took it very serious. And John had the coronary where he's like, I'm done with WFAN. And then I couldn't believe it. Another one of those scenarios where I like both guys, but, you know.
Oh, his reaction was priceless. I hate to laugh at it, but it was priceless.
It was priceless. And if we trusted Sean enough, he would find the reaction, but we didn't have it pre-planned. And so it's too challenging for him to
And
find
he's on the phone.
Who's on the phone?
I was, because I'm trying to get callers up
I thought
here.
you meant John Heyman was on the phone.
No, John Heyman's not. No, by the way, I did scroll. Of course, Tommy didn't save it, so.
He didn't save the John Heyman? I couldn't believe it.
We have an entire drop folder. I'm up and down. I've searched. I couldn't believe it. I've searched Heyman. I've searched John. It's not there.
All right.
Tommy sabotaged a lot of this on the way out the door.
Yeah, he definitely did.
No, I told you.
Your instinct was right.
Yeah, on the way out, he said, I'm going to make Tubby. That's what he calls you.
Did you search Boris?
Search Boris.
Boris is a good. Well, why would it be Boris? It's Heyman saying I couldn't
Tommy
believe
was
it.
screwing with it.
Oh.
So he didn't want to get rid of it because it's priceless, but he wanted to confuse Sean.
It's one of those clips where I think 90% of the audience has probably heard it before. So luckily, it's not like, what is that? You've heard it. It's John Heyman saying, I couldn't even believe it.
Right. Because he probably heard it and didn't know the context of it.
Yes.
No biggie.
No, that's not it.
That's not it.
Yeah. Anyhow, let's go to Josh in Queens. Good afternoon, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
What's up, boys? It's such a pleasure to talk to you guys in the new time slot.
Thank you, man.
I'll say, Sean, you screen the calls now?
I do a little bit of everything.
Sean does everything.
Yeah, but don't worry, the board runs itself.
Okay, I'm glad because I'm missing the generational talent a little bit, so I was a little shocked that you're doing it. But boys, the Jets' dysfunction. This is. I've never said, you guys have, we've spoken forever. I have never seen anything like this. They have no offensive coordinator. They have no defensive coordinator. They're missing 8 coaching spots. Plus, they have no quarterback. They have 2 of their offensive linemen that are up for that are about to be free agents. They have no running back right now because he's about to be a free agent. They have a number 1 wide receiver coming off an injury-plagued season. I mean, the hope is as abysmal as I've ever seen. And then, if I may, boys, if you guys need any rock salt whatsoever during this horrible winter, please let me know, boys.
Hey,
all right?
rock salt.
My pleasure to deliver.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think
you,
there's
Josh.
probably going to be a shortage at this point.
I know.
Especially if we get another ice storm over the upcoming weekend, which hopefully we don't. I would agree with the sentiment. I have been a Jet fan since, I wouldn't say since birth, because I didn't really start understanding and watching football to the level of, I get it, until about 1994 when I was 10 or 11 years old.
Right. But your father was.
Yeah.
And so kind of, if you were watching it on his lap while he was watching a game, you're kind of since birth.
That's true. So if we want to go since birth, and that makes it easier because the Jets did have some success in the 80s.
Right.
This is the most helpless feeling I've had. And it's strange to say that when you've got cap space, you got the number 2 overall pick, plus the surplus of ones coming their way. So they are in that position to have a turn because of those assets. But when it comes to leadership, I have as little confidence as I ever had.
Yeah.
And it's very, very depressing. And all you can do is hope that we're wrong. Like, that's the bottom line. We have to hope that we are all wrong about Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, and that's the weird kind of hope because it's not even we have this player and this situation and this foundation and yada, yada. Let's hope it all comes together. This is more, let's just hope that the organization doesn't fall apart.
Can't even believe it. There you go.
It's a different kind of hope. It's one thing when you have talent and you're just hoping it comes together. It's another when you're not even sure you have talent.
No, I know. I'm trying to think. The Gase era briefly also had that feeling for me because I was convinced I knew Adam Gase sucked. Like, am I 90% sure Aaron Glenn is in the answer? I think most of us are there. But if we are being fair, it is 1 year.
Yeah, but we had proof with Gase.
That's my point.
That's the other thing because he failed somewhere else.
That's why I'm thinking, was I more hopeless with Gase in 19 and 20? And you know why I'd still say no? Because I believed in Sam. There you go.
Yeah.
Very timely reference to a man who's about to participate in the Super Bowl, but I was always a Sam guy. And so I thought, well, maybe we have our quarterback. You obviously can't say that with the current Jets. Ryan in Scotch Plains. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, guys. How you doing? I wanted to just bring a Yankees trade to the table, if I may.
Yes. Go ahead.
I was listening to the Talking Baseball guys on John Boy.
Yes. Love those guys. Yep.
Yeah, they great podcast.
Yep.
And they brought up this point about C.J. Abrams on the Nationals, and it got me thinking. Young shortstop already has shown much more potential, in my opinion, than Volpe. Is that something to look at for the Yankees? I don't know if they can move him, some other guys, but I was interested in your thoughts on that.
The reason it's something to monitor is because I've read reports that he's available. And so if he's available, then why not? The question is, what's the price tag? And also, do they view C.J. Abrams as a shortstop? Some of the defensive metrics are not kind to him. Right. So they may actually view C.J. Abrams, Teak, as Jazz Chisholm's replacement. Like, they bring him in and he ends up playing second base more than playing shortstop.
So that means then Jazz becomes expendable?
Well, I think he already is. Yeah. Because he is a free agent at the end of the year.
Right.
I think C.J. Abrams is an interesting guy to keep an eye on. Did you hear Tommy's Yankee trade idea at 4 o'clock in the morning?
I can honestly say I did not.
Why not?
I didn't see it
We
clipped.
weren't up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, like some of us sleep at that time.
Yeah. Well, just because it is clipped doesn't mean other things didn't happen. Like, he has a full show. And,
I understand.
And he is our guy. Like, we're loyal to him, are we not?
Is he our guy? He's still in our chat. He doesn't participate.
I know, which is very strange. So we should get rid of him?
He participates when the Nets lose to the Knicks. I find that interesting.
That was the only time Loogie participated in the Evan and Tiki chat.
And it was one line. Nobody responded to him.
What was his line again? Nets lose or something? Yeah, it was pretty basic.
Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to say it.
All right, so bottom line is you guys are not loyal to Tommy. I am. Is that where we're at here?
Okay.
What is that where we're at? Because I
don't know. All I know is this. I got a text from Tommy 2 days ago asking me if Evan is stealing his takes.
What?
So this is I'm just throwing it out there. So you bragging online.
Sam, be careful where you said you heard these things.
That's all I'm saying. Is you're bragging that you're the one listening to him, and on the other hand, 48 hours ago, I'm finding out you're taking some of his takes.
But what Tommy doesn't understand is I give him credit for all those things. Like when we talk, I asked you about the championship game at a neutral site. I mentioned Tommy brought it up on his show.
Yes.
So, no, I always give everybody credit. So, no, I am not stealing. I'm not stealing any of his dumb takes.
What was his 4:30 a.m. take last night?
Well, it wasn't a take. It was a trade idea.
Oh,
okay.
Trade idea.
So he wanted the Yankees trade for Odell Beckham? Is that what he did?
It was actually so stupid, but I'll give him love anyway. It was a Fernando Tatis Jr. trade idea. Yeah. And I got annoyed because I was like, he's not available. Yeah, we've been doing this for months.
Right. It's really Tommy. Nobody else is talking about this. He's the only one that wants Tatis traded from San Diego, and it's not happening because they're not trading him from San Diego.
Yeah, he's not available. So that was his trade idea. Now I feel bad listening to Tommy if he thinks I'm going to steal his opinion.
Where did Evan get that open? Did he mention me? I get that a lot.
Which one? Now I'm curious.
By the way, the one you mentioned does make sense. I think it was Monday. It was about the title games and the weather.
Oh, but that's a Sean thing. That's not a Tommy thing.
And I tweeted about the dome.
No, that's
all we talk about when weather is a part of one of these games. Is how much you want a dome.
In fact, if you really want to piss him off, tell him that he stole your idea.
Well, all I said
because that's not even an Evan Open.
Yeah.
That's a Sean Open.
So my rebuttal was, Tommy, I tweeted about the dome, and not for nothing, I would never take bows. Not exactly an original take.
Well, that's the thing.
And by the way, he's still in the chat. He could just read.
This is what I don't understand.
Because we wrote it in the chat.
Yeah.
Why side text me?
Wait a second. You're so right. I wrote at like 7 o'clock that day.
Yeah,
Sunday
that morning,
night.
Or that night.
That
right
night,
after the
I
games.
said, hey, guys, I think the Open should target the weather since Sean has such a different opinion than me.
And that was before he went on the air.
So, wait a second. Tommy stole the chat's Open.
See what you did there, Sean. You worked it a full circle.
Yeah.
You had Tommy blaming Evan. Evan should be blaming Tommy.
Nah, I don't blame anybody for anything.
Well, and I didn't want to be rude to him and be like, Tommy, I'm not listening to you because I'm not up. So that was his thing.
I am listening to him because I think Tommy does a great job. And I think he's fantastic. And I enjoy him, especially when he yells at Rosie. when he just puts Paul Rosenberg in his place, it's like my favorite part of the show. But he does a fantastic job. And I say this about him and everyone else around here. Our shows are more than just clips that are put out on social media. I know that's how we digest stuff, but they're clips. And why they're put out there, we got great digital experts who figure out why they put that stuff out. We do a show. He's on for a long time. The morning guys are on for 4 hours. We're on for 4 hours. Craig's on for 4 hours. Big Mac for 5. Like, there's more to us than just clips.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
I do. I have a clip for you, though.
Yes.
So Freddy Peralta met the media yesterday.
I'm still looking for this Tommy response. I'm way back here now.
Like,
maybe he didn't.
No, he did. The one response in our group chat was about the Nets.
It was a week ago today.
Yeah, it was a week
there
ago.
it is. It was from the Nets game because they were getting their asses kicked.
Yeah, I'm aware. I was there.
Tommy wrote, quote, "Did Evan leave yet?"
And we haven't heard from him since.
What a jack. By the way, I did. I left after the third quarter. I had to beg my kid to leave. Anyhow, Freddy Peralta met the media yesterday. Listen to the whole thing. Not going to bore you with it. All good. Like, hey, great. Soto loves me. Tyrone Taylor FaceTime me. It's fantastic. He was asked about a contract extension. I play this clip, and the reason I play it for Tiki is very good at knowing what people are thinking, even based on their answer. So Freddy Peralta was asked, are you open to a contract extension with the New York Mets?
I just got here, and I think that I gotta see around. I have to share time with my teammates, and think about different ideas. Learn about everybody, coaches, the organization in general, and then we can see.
No.
No shot.
Yes. You can always tell from the first words people say. Just who was it we were talking about yesterday where the first thing he said was Mendoza.
Mendy. We were about the locker room.
If there was a locker room issue.
Yeah.
And the first word out of his mouth was, yeah. So he's answering it, right? The first word Freddy Peralta said was, well, I'm just getting here.
Yeah.
It means no. And then he just talks about, I look at different options and I want to set myself up. He's not open for an extension right now.
No, I don't even know if the Mets are. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, you need two to tango, and
Right.
David Stearns was effusive in his answer as well. So for anyone hoping for the Freddy Peralta extension, because there was some excitement a few days ago when Pat Ragazzo of SI wrote, hey, Freddie's
open.
camp is open to it, that, hey, maybe this could happen. I agree with you. I think based on that answer, it is not going to happen.
I also, before we break at any point, I want to give more credit to Al Dukes, who called in to tell me where the John Heyman clip was and informed me that all Tommy did was steal it from Eddie, who had it saved in a separate folder.
Oh,
wow.
So you had to go to Eddie's folder.
So basically, I've just learned anything I'm looking for that I thought Tommy had. Tommy was just taking from Eddie.
Well, no, there's also a lot of stuff I sent
But now
him.
you got to keep Eddie's open, too.
This whole thing's a mess. Let's be honest.
Well, can't you just, it's digital information. You can just copy and paste.
I have to defend Tommy on this.
I got the Dewey Decimal System here, Tiki. I know what's going on.
You got it from Eddie, and it's much appreciated. And thank you, Al, for calling in. The one thing I will say is when Heyman had that exchange, I immediately, like we all did, I was not original to this, I caught a clip and did send it to Tommy. So we probably have the same clip, but it was put in. Now, it's possible Loogie got lazy and said, I'm not putting in Evan's clip. I'll just wait for Scazzeri, who's going to have it.
On the table.
That is absolutely on the table. But I do remember that night cutting it and being like, here you go, Tommy.
Yeah.
I cut another one that I can't wait to play tomorrow once I get some. Actually, you know what? I'll play it for you now. It's in my phone. It's from Walt Clyde Frazier. You guys like Clyde? We're big fans of Clyde.
Correct.
Yes, it's a drop I will soon play of Walt Clyde Frazier. Are you ready for this one?
Yes.
This is my favorite.
And who is this pertaining to?
You'll hear. He'll say the name. Here we go.
You know, Brunson flops a lot.
Hear what he said?
Brunson flops a lot.
What?
You know, Brunson flops a lot.
What, Walt?
You know, Brunson flops a lot.
What about Jalen?
You know, Brunson flops a lot.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun drop. Brunson flops a lot. I didn't say it.
I mean, he does. He does. He tries to get the foul every time.
When Clyde said that last
sometimes
night,
it works. He's got the respect now.
No, I got no issue
When he
with
first
flopping.
got here, it wasn't working. Now it works.
Absolutely.
You got to earn that respect from the referee, so they give you the and one.
Remember, Detroit was chanting flopper at him. But there was something magical in my eyes last night. I'm sitting there, I'm watching the Knicks game, chilling, relaxed. And when Clyde said that, I could not get my phone out quick enough to make that a clip. So, yeah, at some point we'll use that. Not sure when. We'll come back with more of your calls, 888-808-1019. Plus, we did find out in the archives what we said about Sam Darnold when he signed with the Seattle Seahawks. Were we for it? Were we against it? What were our opinions? We'll let you know coming up next.
I'm always on the go, but sometimes even when I'm home, I'm having lunch, reading a book, I don't feel like going downstairs to answer the door when my daughter comes back from cheer practice and she's freezing outside. So I just let her torture a little bit. So the Sloman Shield, they help me with my solution for this. They have a doorbell camera where I can talk to her and say, why don't you just go to the garage? I can open the garage. And then she starts screaming, no, I want to go here. I just walked through the snow. And so I can just unlock the door right from the app. The Sloman Shield Link system combines safety, convenience, and peace of mind that I can manage right from my phone. It is outstanding and so much fun, especially when I get to mess with my family a little bit. Experience the future of home security and automation with the Sloman Shield Link system. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME or visit slomans.com.
This portion of the program was sponsored by Flushing Bank. Flushing Bank, life's rewarding, especially with Flushing Bank's Complete Cash Rewards program. Just open a personal or business complete checking account to get started. With 30 New York Metro locations, there's nothing easier or more rewarding. Visit flushingbank.com today, member FDIC. It was also sponsored by DAZN.
Two global superstars in their prime square off at Madison Square Garden.
Here we go.
Teofimo, the Brooklyn-born king of 140, looks to retain his world title as Shakur steps up to become a 4-division world champion. Don't miss Lopez versus Stevenson, January 31st. Watch only on DAZN.
I'm Pat Boyle, here to help you beat the books at Western One Sports. Both play the Pacers in Indy, and this is a matchup that Pascal Siakam has dominated in each of the first two meetings this year. In the first meeting on November 29th, Siakam had 24 points and 9 rebounds. In the second meeting a week later, he had 36 points and 10 boards. The Bulls have been a bottom 5 defense all year long and a bottom 10 defense against the center position. Take the over on Siakam's points plus rebounds. I'm Pat Boyle. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by February 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SCHEV.
The big game is upon us, and just like winning teams, your engagement should be about the very best. If you're ready to pop the big question this year, why not visit the experts at London Jewelers? London Jewelers can help you select or even design the absolute perfect ring. Explore the 2 by London collection, and they offer something for everyone's budget. So just drop in and mention WFAN. Whether you're starting over or starting new, let London Jewelers be a part of your very special journey and visit any one of their 6 locations all across New York and New Jersey. London Jewelers, serving families since 1926.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber with a special message for New York businesses looking to diversify your income. Amazon Hub Delivery is making it easy to earn extra money. When you partner with Amazon Hub Delivery, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area. With each package delivered, you'll gain extra income and exposure for your business. There's no upfront cost, no delivery experience, and no long-term contracts required. Sign up to learn more at amazon.com/hub delivery. That's amazon.com/HUB delivery.
Take the guesswork out of cooking, folks. The Chef IQ senses a must-have wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or over cooking chicken, fish, or steak. Order the newly released third-generation Chef IQ Sense at chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
At Town Fair Tire, New England's largest name brand discount tire dealer, you get it all. The guaranteed lowest price, the most free services, and we accept all valid rebates from any manufacturer and from our competition. Yes, we accept them all, even competitor rebates. Town Fair Tire, New England's largest discount tire dealer, now with over 120 stores from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
History's masterpieces wouldn't be the same without their most notable accents. Neither would the Kia Sportage without its multiple drive modes. The Kia Sorento without its expansive 12.3-inch panoramic display. Or the Kia Telluride without its 3 rows of spacious seating. The Kia SUVs. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
MSC Cruises feel so stylish and European. Let's espresso and gelato.
Espresso and gelato? Those aren't verbs.
Yeah, on MSC Cruises they are.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm into the American stuff. Let's coffee and soft serve.
Sounds like a plan. Maybe later we can chaise lounge and espadrille?
I think you mean pool chair and flip-flop.
Cruise from $199 plus get up to $500 onboard credit and kids sail free. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
This week's football hot performer, sponsored by Edison HVAC, is Jackson Smith in Jigba. He caught 10 passes for 153 yards and a touchdown in the win over Los Angeles. If your current heating system is over 15 years old, you need a new hot performer in a high-efficiency carrier system. There's only one company to call, Edison Heating and Cooling. New Jersey's heating experts for over 38 years. Older heating systems waste gas, so make sure your system is a hot performer and save money now with Edison Heating and Cooling. Contact them at edisonhvac.com.
2 champions from opposite sides of the Hudson.
Live in New York City.
Tiafimo, the Brooklyn-born king of 140.
It's going down.
Shakur, the pound-for-pound undefeated prince from Newark.
I'm coming to win.
Ready to settle a score the world's been waiting for at the mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden.
Welcome to New York.
The ring and WBO junior welterweight championships are on the line. Who will be king of New York? Don't miss Tiafimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Ring 6, January 31st, only on DAZN.
When this happened, you talked about it on The Fan.
I would like to introduce to you the next head football coach of the New York Giants, John Harbaugh.
We're here with one mission: to become, to earn the right to be called the world champions in New York.
When New York sports happens, talk about it here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Yeah, a little over a week ago, we were out there for John Harbaugh's introductory press conference. I challenged him to go train and work out with me. 5:30 a.m. workouts, me and John Harbaugh going hard. But I'm 50. I still train hard, but recovery matters. That's why I use GAT Sports' new creatine chews. No powder, no mess, no shaker cups, just great flavors like grape, cotton candy, lemon lime, and fruit punch on the go. 5 grams of creatine per serving. Save 30% off your first bottle at gatsport.com with code Tiki30. That's GAT sport.com with code Tiki30. Gat Creatine Chews. Fuel up, compete harder. Let's go.
This Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. The Knicks have somehow found a place colder than here. They're heading up to Toronto tonight to play the Raptors at 7:30. Obviously, no word on scratches off a back-to-back, but one would imagine maybe some Mitchell Robinson restrictions. And also, it's the first of a back-to-back for the Rangers and the Islanders tonight at the Big Outlet at 7 p.m. as the Islanders will look to continue to make the Rangers' 100th season look like the New York Giants' 100th season.
Oh, stop. That's hating on your own team.
Well.
That's back-to-back home and home?
Yeah.
Yeah, tonight.
Tonight's UBS. Tomorrow they're out at Madison Square Garden. Yesterday I had mentioned that I actually defended Mina Kimes as a reporter for ESPN for crapping on the Sam Darnold move that the Seahawks made. And my defense was, I think a lot of people probably crapped on it. I think a lot of people probably criticized it. So, in fairness, we went back into the archives. Great job by Andrew Kaplan. Great job by Dan. They both found it. Our reaction to Sam Darnold signing with Seattle so we can see how we reacted because none of us remember. Like I said, how did we react to the Sam Darnold news? And you'll hear in this short clip why none of us remember. Because upon hearing the breaking news, we decided to immediately talk about other aspects of it. Take a listen.
There are a few thoughts I have on how it impacts the local teams. The fact that the Vikings let Sam go, which I think is the wise decision, could mean one of two things. A, they believe in J.J. McCarthy, and J.J. is going to be elevated to their starting quarterback, or they're more in play for a one-year rental, such as Aaron Rodgers.
Then Tiki brought up Daniel Jones, and we moved on. So we literally never offered any opinion on it. The only opinion I did offer.
Right. I did think Daniel Jones would be the perfect fit.
We went to Minnesota.
Yeah.
We all went to what the Vikings would do. Now, I do have an L in there, obviously. Me saying the Vikings probably made the right decision moving on from him. But outside of that, and I think this almost proves the defense of Mina Kimes, we didn't think it was significant enough to even break down.
No.
We immediately pivoted to something else.
Yeah. Because I wasn't even thinking about Seattle being a player. It was just kind of the next landing spot for Sam Darnold. It's a gap move because they're too good of a team to be drafting high. So let's just take a gap quarterback, maybe who sees what happens, and we'll get our quarterback next year. Now they've probably got a quarterback for the future.
I think so.
He's still young. He's still only 29 years old.
And they're in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Like, that's pretty good.
Right. The first of the quarterbacks from that draft class to be in a Super Bowl.
And the guy.
This is an
What the hell was that? And the guys in the draft class are great. Josh Allen's a great quarterback. He hasn't been to a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson's won multiple MVPs. Hasn't been to a Super Bowl.
Right.
So, yeah, I think Seattle is set. But in fairness, we had no opinions on Sam Darnold going to Seattle. No. We quickly moved on. Now, one last thing before we get to your phone calls. I was listening to one of my favorite shows here at WFAN. It is called The Warm-Up Show. It features Jerry Recco.
You couldn't remember it for a second.
I have a mental block. I love Al and Jerry, but I have a mental block. And now I listen to them live because I wake up incredibly early.
Right.
And I'm in my car before their show is ever over. And so I listen to Al and Jerry. And Jerry talked about you and how he wanted to talk to you about something and then realized he shouldn't talk to you about it.
Why?
And so I realized,
I'm the easiest person in the world to talk to.
If Jerry doesn't want to talk to Tiki, why don't I just play the clip of Jerry talking to Tiki?
Right.
So here's Jerry Recco talking about an opening. The opening for a broadcaster for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers job is open.
Oh, yeah, Gene Deckerhoff, Buccaneers Radio.
I asked Boomer if he knew anybody.
We move right to left.
And it's funny, I did not text Tiki about it. His brother's in the Ring of Honor there and everything.
Yes.
And I hear Tiki the other day on the radio. God, everybody I've done games with has contacted me. My brother's can you get me an interview? I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't bother him. I tried to bother Boomer. He thought I meant the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh.
Like, no, I meant
confused.
the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yeah, I wonder who will do those games.
So
that's great.
He didn't want to bother you, but at least you should know that he'd like to bother you.
Yes.
And Jerry's a great broadcaster, so anything you could do.
Yeah, of course. I'll reach out to this guy. I just asked him. Jeff Ryan is his name.
Oh, my God.
With the
Jerry,
Buccaneers.
Jerry, we're getting it done. What happens if he gets the job, though? He could still do the mornings, right? What?
Yeah, he can. But that's like Rondé described it this way.
Uh-oh. Jerry, hopefully you're listening.
The Bucks aren't looking for a short-time hire. They're looking for someone that wants a job for the next 20 to 30 years.
But does that mean that person has to live down there?
No.
Okay.
No.
So he could still do his day job here with Boomer and Gio.
Yeah, Gene Deckerhoff was a grinder.
Yeah,
he
did
called Florida State and the Buccaneers for 30-plus years.
Yeah.
So they're not looking for a short-term hire. They want the long-term hire.
I think Jerry's
Reck is good, by the way.
He's great. You've worked with him.
Yeah, no. He's really good at it.
Dude, I think he may get the job now. If you're really going to make this phone call, you've worked with him, you Tiki freaking barber. I'm so glad Jerry brought it up on the air because otherwise you would have never done anything. Look, he's doing it now. All right, so keep that in mind. I'll put that one in your pipe and smoke it, and we'll see what happens. Let's get your phone calls. 888-808-1019. Mark is in Oceanside. Hey, Mark.
How are you guys today?
That's good.
I think all of us are looking at the Jets the wrong way. Really, they're nothing more than a traveling clown show. They're like the Washington Generals. They have the worst owner in football, if not all of sports. They have the worst head coach in football, if not all of sports. The quarterback room is laughable. They're terrible at drafting. They have not one really good defensive player on the whole squad. It's a joke. They could if a team tried to be bad as them, it would be quite an effort. I don't know if they would have beaten Indiana, the Indiana team this year.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is, Mark? They weren't bad enough. Like, you talk about them being a circus, can't argue it. The owner, the leadership, the coach, all that's fine. If they were just one game badder, they'd be picking their franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
So sometimes...
And they would be better off.
Yeah, and we'd have a better future.
The Washington Generals, that's like the...
Harlem Globetrotters used to beat them all the time. Yeah.
Right, got it.
So now the reference to any team that loses all the time is they're the Washington Generals. Let's go to Barney in Levittown. Hey, Barney.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
What's
Long time, first time.
Appreciate you.
I got a question for Evan.
Yeah.
What's the difference between Beltran going in the Hall of Fame and being a cheating coach compared to Alex Rodriguez McGuire doing steroids? It's all cheating.
It is all cheating, but I do look at it very differently when you're using a drug and you're using something that alters your physical body versus pushing the lines of sign stealing, which has been going on since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And what the Astros did...
Which, by the way, would be Spygate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I think you could bring it all together.
Just pushing the lines of stealing signs.
Which I guess leads to if Belichick is being punished for that...
I don't think he is, actually.
I don't know.
I think it's more the new rule makes it difficult for some of these writers who have their own agendas. Let's not forget, every single one of these voters for Football Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall, all of them have their own personal agendas. And some of them have greater influence than others. And so they can influence other people's votes as well. So I don't think it's a punishment in any capacity to Bill Belichick. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think the agendas of those writers is ultimately who determines how you get into the Hall of Fame.
Was Beltran punished for a year, in your opinion? I mean, there's a lot of different voters, so every voter could be different in this regard. But was Carlos Beltran punished for being a part of the sign cheating scandal, the greatest one of our lifetime?
Doesn't feel like it. Should he have gotten in last year?
I think he's a borderline Hall of Famer, which is why I don't get nuts about it. Like, Belichick is
that's
clearly,
what I mean.
Yeah, it's different with Carlos. And the other thing is, and everybody's different when it comes to steroids, because I do want to answer his question more direct. All right? My opinion, this is just me. I'm one guy. If you were already a Hall of Famer, then I would still put you in, which is why, to me, Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Which is why Roger Clemens is a Hall of Famer. A-Rod's different because his entire career is under a cloud. Carlos Beltran's entire career is not under a cloud.
No.
His last year of his career is.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Right. Before he became potentially a manager.
Right. So I don't think, to me, it should have anything to do with his Hall of Fame candidacy. But I did say Carlos is going to come on our show in the next few weeks. He had some travel issues. It's a question for him. Like, hey, do you think you were punished for your involvement in the sign cheating scandal, which he's admitted he was. It's not like a secret anymore. He's admitted it. Let's go to Brian in Jackson. Hey, Brian.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good, man. What's up?
So, all your Jets talk today is getting me really depressed, and the problem is nothing you're saying is untrue. The biggest problem for me, you were talking briefly about how maybe the Gase era was more despairing. The problem is that where we are at now is following a 15-year drought, and there's still no ray of hope on the horizon.
Yeah.
It's so utterly depressing. I'm sick. We're finally at the off season, and all we could look forward to is next off season to finally start feeling hopeful, maybe about the future. It's so despairing.
No, it is. And I think you're 100% right that when you have a decade and a half of constant failures, it makes this hopelessness worse. I think the other thing that makes it worse is that the Aaron Rodgers era, which gave us the hope of at least being a playoff team, let alone a Super Bowl team, ended in such embarrassment. Like, we didn't even come close to it.
No.
We didn't get the meaningful football we thought we were going to get.
No, you're right. And so it's like, what can you point to? What are the positives that have happened over the last 10 years or so that get you believing that things can turn around at some point? There isn't anything. So it's hope on nothing. It's one thing to hope because you have good players or a good coach or whatever it is. You're hoping on nothing.
Checo is in Waldwick, New Jersey. Hey, Checo.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you. What's up?
Loud and clear, baby. What's up?
So I have two things. I think the Giants should get what's his name, Jon Gruden for the O-line job.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine after what happened to the Jets? And Jon Gruden's like, not interested.
No.
If all of a sudden John Harbaugh says, you know what, I got a funny thing I could do, and I got a hell of a lot more credibility than the Jets, and I got a quarterback, and he goes to Jon Gruden and says, I'll rehab you. Come here for a year.
Yeah.
You get Jackson Dart, who you love, and you're going to be so successful that even teams that are afraid of you, they'll want to hire you. How would you guys feel about that one?
I mean, I would trust John Harbaugh.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the stock answer now.
Yes, it is.
That's a stock answer for everything?
Everything. For the first year, at least.
I tell you, that would be so depressing as a Jet fan. To go from being turned down by Gruden to have him say, oh, I'll take the Giant job, though. I'm good. Like, it's not surprising. It's a better job, but I ain't going to lie to you. It would hurt.
It would also raise his stock to go get a head coaching job elsewhere besides the Jets next year.
It could. Yeah, I mean, we had a caller earlier who mentioned, does he need a year to kind of rehab himself? I don't think this rehabs him other than it makes a respected team say, hey, we're willing to hire him. If we as the classy New York Giants are willing to hire him, then it's okay for you.
Right.
Something of that nature. Let's go to Chris in Bayshore. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, hey, guys. How we doing?
We're good.
Good.
Listen, I got two things for you. First, I want to just I was at an event with Sal on Friday, and the guy is just top notch. He's
Licata? He's a very good guy. Absolutely.
The best.
Good to hear that.
He was great. He made a great, real quick couple of comments, and it was just great. You know, I had the opportunity to sit along with him, and it was great. It was
Nice.
a great time, and his family great. It was awesome. But
Good to
Evan,
hear.
I got a question for you. What do you think, or have you gotten to the point now where you've kind of switched your dreaded team in the NL East from the Phillies to the Braves?
Have I say that one more time?
So switch the team you hate, dread, the Phillies or the Braves.
Oh, yeah. It's convoluted, Chris. Here's what I'd say: the Phillies are better, right? And the Phillies have proven to be better. The Mets have had success against the Phillies, like whether it's the division series 2 years ago, whether it's the regular season success, even last year, especially at Citi Field where they beat the snot out of them. So on a head-to-head basis, I have confidence against the Phillies because the Mets have played them well. The Brave thing runs deep.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm more afraid of the Braves roster or them winning the division. I'm more afraid of winning games in Atlanta. I'm more afraid of beating the Braves because they don't do it. Is that a fair explanation?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. But I think what he was really asking is, who are you nervous about this year?
Well, I think the Phillies are better.
Yeah, so it's the Phillies.
But not when I play them. I mean, come on.
Because even as an inferior team, the Braves, you feel like they have your number.
They
regardless.
always have the Mets number, and the Mets have had a lot of success against the Phillies.
Yeah.
They just have, and it's not just the division series from a few years ago, which was obviously awesome. Like winning a playoff series against the team from Philadelphia is really, really cool. It's not something I have done a lot as a fan. And to do it as an underdog and to do it with their high expectations and us coming out of nowhere, like it was amazing. No question about it. So I have a level of confidence just based on the history of the Mets' success against the Phillies recently. It's not that the Braves are 10 times better. It's that they always make us suffer.
Right. So it's them.
Yeah.
The pain hurts more.
The pain, even though the Phillies are the better team.
Phillies
the one
are
you
better
should
team.
actually fear more when you talk about the NL East, but it's the Braves.
Yeah.
History is ingrained in your brain.
Yeah.
Scarred your brain.
It's tough to just ignore the history.
Right.
Like it's there. And it's new for you, Sean, so this is a new one. The Blue Jays destroyed you last year, right? From a head-to-head standpoint, and then obviously in the playoffs. If that continues, where they just beat you all the time, eventually you will just fear them because you're like, we just can't beat this freaking team. Like that's
you're right.
where
You're right.
it would go.
The difference, the Yankees don't have a Braves. It's like they had the Rays for 2 years. These like painful losses. Yeah. It gets recycled too quickly. The Braves, it's 20 years of this.
That's true.
That's true.
It spans generations.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the problem. I even said to you yesterday, don't even remember the context. I was defending the Patriots run, as bad as it is. I point out that the Patriots run is one of the weakest runs we've ever seen in terms of who they've had to beat. But in the same breath, I tell you, but you should celebrate it the way I do the Mets in 2000, in that they got to the World Series, but the only reason they got to the World Series is someone else beat the Braves, which shows you that even 26 years ago, I was going through the same thing.
Yeah. That actually happened. I'm going to bring it back to the Giants in 2011. People forget.
What do you mean?
We rooted hard for the 49ers to beat the Saints because the Giants could never go into New Orleans and beat the Saints.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember that, yeah.
The House of Horrors was Giant fans, the pain with the Saints.
By the way, speaking of that game, because I was doing this research last week because of the underdog situation in the AFC Championship game, the Giants were favorites in that game against the Niners.
Is that true?
Can you double check that?
I thought they were slight dogs.
Yeah, I thought I looked up that in 2011, January of 12, but the 2011 season, the Giants were favorites in the NFC title game in San Francisco against the Niners, and you guys were underdogs against the Vikings at home.
Yeah, I remember that.
By like a point.
We were at that one at home. That's because the Dante Culpepper, Randy Moss era was so explosive offensively. They just thought that they could score more than us. I don't remember the Giants being favorites in that San Francisco game.
Yeah, just for the record, the 2000 game that you talked about, Minnesota -1. So
Yeah.
slight
favorites.
favorite at Giants Stadium.
Right.
But look that up in 2011. Sean is like, really? When I tell him to look something Giants up related, it is like porn.
That's because he doesn't know it off the top of his head, so he's disappointed in himself. So he
That-
really needs
You were wrong.
he needs to fill the gap.
I'm wrong. Okay.
The game closes. The Niners is a 2-point favorite.
Okay. I take my own then.
Right.
All right. So I thought about that incorrectly. Fine.
But look, what I don't know is they could have opened like the week as a favorite.
No, but it was close. Point
Right.
is, like that was almost a pick 'em. But nevertheless, I was wrong. The Giants were slight underdogs in San Francisco against the Niners. Moses in Brentwood. Hey, Moses.
Hey, Cinco de Loncho guys, how you doing?
What's happening?
Good, man. What's up?
The Jets. I've been a fan since 1973. Did they hire a passing game coordinator as their defensive coordinator? I read this in Fox Sports.
No,
Yes.
he worked.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
They're on crack.
No.
They're on crack.
No. So just for clarity, because we had this in the Mets chat as well. When you see pass game coordinator, it doesn't mean he's an offensive pass game coordinator. There is both a defensive pass game coordinator and an offensive pass game coordinator. So it's usually like your secondary coach. If you are a defensive pass game coordinator, it doesn't mean he's an offensive coach trying to coach defense.
Here is his resume, because we are talking about the new Jets defensive coordinator, Brian Duker, who they hired away from Miami. And keep in mind, Aaron Glenn is going to call plays on defense.
Yes.
So Aaron Glenn is essentially a defensive coordinator, but this guy has the title of defensive coordinator.
Yes.
He was a student assistant at Towson, a graduate assistant at Bryant, a graduate assistant at Missouri, the defensive quality control coach at Missouri. It is Missouri, by the way. Don't correct me. That's how you pronounce it.
Missouri.
Missouri. No.
Are you from Missouri?
I'm speaking as if I am from there, yes.
And they also call the sport programs Mizzou.
How do you say
Missouri.
the town where the Saints play?
Nolans. I got you.
What about the Wildcats?
What? What Wildcats?
Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky.
No, Louisville.
Oh, Louisville. Yeah. Thank you.
Just making sure. Just making sure you're consistent.
Oh, I'm very consistent. I try to respect the cities and states in our country.
Missouri.
Defensive intern for the Cleveland Browns. Defensive analyst for the Niners. Defensive staff assistant for the Ravens. So he's got a connection to John Harbaugh.
Yeah, I only said that earlier.
Oh, sorry. Defensive coaching analyst for the Ravens in 19 and 20, so 3 years under John. Defensive assistant for the Lions, so working under Aaron Glenn.
This sounds like a lot of busy work.
Safeties coach for the Lions in 2022.
Oh, there you go. Now he's finally in a room.
Defensive backs coach in 2023.
There you go.
And then the last 2 years with Miami, he was the pass game coordinator and secondary coach.
Yes.
So what is the pass game coordinator thing again?
It's someone who coordinates what defensive schemes you're going to run.
Okay, so it's not an offensive job that he had. He's a defensive coach.
You plan for the other team's passing offense.
Yes.
There you go. I'm glad you specified.
And by
now
the way,
he's-
it wouldn't necessarily matter because my buddy Nate Hackett this year was a defensive analyst for the Green Bay Packers.
Right.
So he analyzed for the defense. It wasn't like he was helping out with the offense. He was a defensive analyst for the Packers.
That's what McAdoo was doing for the Patriots.
Yes.
But
Oh
also,
my God, McAdoo could get a ring.
but also keep this in mind, and tell me if you think I'm wrong about this. So when the Denver Broncos announced they were firing their offensive coordinator, did you really know who their offensive coordinator even was?
No, I had no idea.
Okay.
I honestly assumed there wasn't one, and Sean Payton just did the role, and Davis Webb was like his coordinator in not name.
That,
you know what I mean?
And that is my point. So when I read they fired Joe Lombardi, it was like, oh, okay, they had an OC because we associate Sean Payton as the guy calling plays. So the Jets are basically having Sean Payton on defense.
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn, whether we like it or not, whether he's good or not, we'll see. Aaron Glenn is the defensive coordinator. So this guy that they hired, Brian Duker, like, good for him.
Right.
He's got a cool title. He's not really the defensive coordinator.
He will never be in a production meeting for a game that they're playing. Because whenever we'd have a Sean Payton game, we wouldn't even talk to the offensive coordinator because we were talking to the offensive coordinator when we talked to the head coach.
Nor would you mention him on the broadcast, which I guess is connected to what you're saying.
Right, because you're only mentioning the play caller.
Right. So when we're watching Jet games this year as they head to 2-15, or wherever the hell it goes, Brian Duker's name may never actually be mentioned.
Unless the defense is playing awesome and all the fans at MetLife go, Duke, every time there's a big play.
Yeah, you think that's happening?
No.
97% of the people at MetLife Stadium will have no idea who this guy is.
By July, people will have forgotten his name.
That's right.
I've already forgotten his name.
You forgot it immediately when I told you to the point you made me think I forgot.
That's true.
You called him Chris.
He told me.
And this is your DC.
Because Aaron Glenn is the DC.
Yes.
That's the reality. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. Aaron Glenn got the job, right? This reminds me of the story I tell all the time about the late Dick Cheney and George Bush. George W. Bush is running for president. He's like, hey, Dick, can you help me find a running mate? And Dick's like, I
ain't found Dick.
He goes on a long, extensive search, comes back to the president and says, what about me? So Aaron Glenn did a long, extensive search for the defensive coordinator, and he comes back to Darren Muji and Woody Johnson and says, I got a great idea. Me. And so we'll find out how badly this goes. But the moral of the story is this. Jon Gruden said no now. He'll say yes next year when he's the head coach of the New York Jets. If you've missed any of the show, you can rewind it on the Odyssey app, download the Evan and Tiki podcast, and the entire show is on YouTube if you want to consume it that way. Carton Show's coming up next with Craig Carton and Big Mac Chris McMonagle. We are back 10 a.m. tomorrow. Goodbye.
This is an Odyssey Sports.